Call 1-800-767-8880 for terms and conditions. Federally insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
It is 10:28. The time check brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
I get a call from my wife saying my son's been in an accident. I got to the ER, and that's when I found out what kind of shape Dakota was in. He had several injuries. He had a stroke from the accident, and then he went into a coma. The accident has changed his life tremendously. He lost pretty much every friend he had. We pretty much take care of him. There was a lot of unanswered questions, and I needed somebody to get to the bottom of it. I don't know what we would have done if it hadn't been for Morgan & Morgan.
I've been at this for a long time, and over time, I like to think of the hundreds of thousands of clients that we've helped. My office and home are full of scrapbooks and pictures of you and your families, and I love when I bump into so many of you later in life. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. We'll always be here for you.
We always felt like someone was there for us.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This is Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates. For the best eye doctors, you need to see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. YourEyeDoc.com, 314-966-5000.
Mizzou football is returning to St. Louis. Be there when the Tigers take on Memphis in the Mizzou to the Lou Classic this September at the Dome, featuring pep rallies, tailgates, and fan activities. It's more than just a game in St. Louis. Show your Tiger pride and purchase your tickets today. The Mizzou to the Lou Classic, Saturday, September 23rd at the Dome at America's Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
At 10:30, we've got some sun. It's 82 degrees downtown at the Arch. The federal judge overseeing the election conspiracy case against Donald Trump largely sided with his defense today in a dispute over a protective order and said she was inclined to agree to less restrictive rules than were sought by prosecutors around the public disclosure of government evidence. The death toll from the wildfires in Maui has risen to 55. Many more are missing. The damage caused by the fires has left thousands homeless. Some residents are being allowed to go check on their homes.
Well, the gas tanks blew up, so everybody had to back out. The gas tank's going off, and that set the next house on fire.
This Cardinals Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Swim next summer. AlohaPoolsUSA.com. After a phenomenal start by their young left-hander Matthew Liberatore last night, the Cards hand the ball to the wily veteran tonight. Adam Wainwright takes another shot at career win number 199 when the Redbirds open a series at Kansas City. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:20. I'm Joe Pott, KMOX Sports.
There's some slow-moving road work on 64 going west at Route K. The right lane is closed. 6440 west at Route K, slow-moving road work in the right lane. Some stalled vehicle on 44 west at 141 has the left lane closed. And the forecast is for tonight, a low 72. For tomorrow, the high 91. Right now, we've got sun. It's 82 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hi, my name is PJ Vogt. I host the podcast Search Engine, where every week I hunt down the answers to the questions I can't get out of my head. Like, why are drug dealers poisoning their customers with fentanyl? Or, is my local sushi restaurant a part of an international scam? Or, how sad are the monkeys at the zoo? If you, like me, find this world bewildering, but also sometimes enjoy being bewildered by it, check out the show on the Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you listen.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce new floor plans to Sutton Farms in Wentzville. The Parkside series of homes offers ranch and two-story plans starting from the mid-300s. Select from hundreds of pre-designed options to personalize your home or choose full customization if there is something specific you're dreaming about. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms offers a private rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. For more information, visit LombardoHomes.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show on Cardinals Radio, KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX with Hancock and Kelly. We're just having a good old time during the break.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
seem to recall you saying we were going to have fun.
Well, here's the fun stuff.
Okay, good.
So Clarence Thomas. Well, you know the Clarence Thomas story. Anybody who's been paying
We do.
attention this week knows that the new ProPublica report, which came out yesterday, that there were additional gifts, 38 trips and yacht trips and football games and all kinds of stuff by billionaire friends of his, and none of it was disclosed.
You got to be on Wheel of Fortune for like 3 months to win all that stuff.
Wonder if he has his
I know.
passport, updated.
He probably doesn't need it. Do you need a passport if
Yeah.
You fly private? Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you go to an executive airport.
Does he
and
have
they
to go
check
to
you in,
TSA Clear or anything?
I don't think they have to do that, but like the rock
No.
stars and stuff, when they come in, they have their passports. and they have
I've
to go
done.
through.
I've flown with a baseball team, right?
Uh-huh.
And you go to the executive airport,
Right.
and there's there's
Rules.
hardly, and they kind of wand you a little bit.
Right.
There's
you
no
were-
security. It's like, yeah, go ahead.
If you were Clarence Thomas, would you try to get your gavel through security?
No, I just have a billionaire buy me one wherever I'm at.
Why would you have your gavel?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I would bring it. I would just be like, I'm sorry. Put it on the.
I bring my robe. I would wear my robe everywhere.
Yeah, you
if I
would.
were. So anyway,
Okay.
the real question to me is it's legal, illegal,
It's
improper,
legal
whatever.
to receive gifts.
Yes.
But you have to disclose certain types of gifts. You have to disclose the amount. And this was a lot that was not
Right.
disclosed.
I think it's, for me, here's the question. It's beyond whether or not it's technically okay for him to do this stuff. Should Supreme Court justices or people in Congress or anybody in the executive branch that has power, should they be able to receive gifts like this, even if it's technically okay to do so?
I sure don't think so. But this Clarence Thomas thing reminds me a little bit of the Hunter Biden thing. Where essentially, why is Clarence Thomas being given all this stuff? Because he's a Supreme Court justice, right? I don't think it's because he knew a bunch of billionaires when he was back in high school,
right?
Now they, even our own Tony Novelli. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Tony Novelli from
Mhm.
St. Louis, good dude. But then you've got Hunter Biden. Do you really think he had $5 million worth of, independent knowledge for whoever hired him? No, he was
selling
hired.
his name, selling his own name.
Right. And it's just interesting that, my side's all up in arms over the Clarence Thomas, and I'm in that boat. And the other side's all up in arms over Hunter Biden. And I get that. It doesn't smell right. You know what? They all stink. And if we don't like it, we got to, 1, be consistent and hold everybody accountable that they're all dirtballs. And then 2, change the rules. I don't think any Supreme Court justice should be getting these types of vacations. So what's the problem? Let's go up to Congress and let's pass laws and change it.
I mean, I will say this with Clarence Thomas. I mean, the influence that he has on the trajectory of our country is completely different than Hunter Biden. Still go after Hunter Biden, sure, but he's not a Supreme Court justice. We also know that with ProPublica, they get this monomaniacal focus on one person, one story, which is great. They do great investigative work. But were they looking at other justices? Because I find it hard to believe that none of the other justices who are supremely connected, because all of these people went to Ivy League schools.
Mm-hmm.
They've been hobnobbing with very influential people throughout. I mean, from maybe high school, but definitely college on, undergrad on, hobnobbing with billionaires. Billionaires send their kids to Ivy League schools. So that they knew these people even before they were Supreme Court justices. So are you looking at other Supreme Court justices? I know the Associated Press looked into Sonia Sotomayor, who was selling her book at college campuses, and her staff was pushing her book to have colleges buy hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of books. That's not great either. So I just think all of the justices, if we're going to look at Thomas this closely, we probably should look at the other ones.
Oh,
too.
I totally agree with you. But what I think would be I think it'd be a fallacy to assume, though, that just because he is doing it at the level he is, that there must be somebody on the opposite side who is doing it to an equal level. I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, they might be getting a little something on the side, or maybe they're getting a lot. I don't know, but let's not just assume that if one side's doing it, the other side has to be doing it to the same degree.
So, Congress, the executive branch people, they have to disclose gifts if the gifts are allowed. Some gifts aren't allowed. And the difference with a Supreme Court judge, of course, is that if a member of Congress, you can vote them out. You can't vote out a Supreme Court justice. And so, at a minimum, they should have disclosure.
Yeah, and I'm an extreme level on this. I don't think that if you're in a position of power like that, you should be able to accept a donut.
Well,
somebody says, "Here's a donut for you." Yeah, sorry, no. It's stupid. It sounds stupid, but I don't think it is. You should be able to accept zero gifts.
Here's the problem with ethics laws. Okay, at some point they become ridiculous, and you cannot, from the outside in, by laws or regulations or rules, make someone ethical. Ethics come from the inside out. And so if you put a gift ban in place, so you can't accept a donut, well, that's stupid. And so then somebody's got to decide what constitutes something that you got to disclose and how much is it worth, and how do you calculate the value of a private airplane flight? Is it the fuel cost? Is it the average cost of a charter flight?
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things. And that just becomes stupid. So we would do better to have people of good ethics on the front end that we put on the court.
You're right.
Because you can't impose an ethics standard that's.
Were there
ends up
ethical
not being
questions about
ridiculous.
Clarence Thomas? Oh, I think there were.
Well, here's what you can't make people ethical, but you can at least make it a whole lot more difficult for them to be unethical.
Yeah, but I agree. But I would say you have to use common sense when you're making ethics laws, because I think they should be able to accept a donut. Because
screw that. You get nothing, man. You get well compensated. Go buy your own donut.
No, the ethics laws become overly punitive. I know I use the NCAA rule, which is totally different. They're athletes. But if you accidentally accept a ride from someone who happened to be a booster, you lose your scholarship. That's the type of thing. If you make the ethics laws overly punitive and tedious, someone will break that, or accidentally break it, or tangentially break that. And then that's not the spirit of the law.
What's
at all
the
anymore.
difference between an athlete and somebody in Congress?
Okay, but
an athlete does not make
the analogy. I think what Amy's saying is Corey Bush
saying.
shows up at a school and they give her a donut and coffee. I mean, does she need to report that? I don't think so.
Yes, report the damn coffee. No, I'm sorry. You work for me. You work for. You've been elected.
Do you want them working, or do you want them running around acting like a lawyer, telling me, "Here's what I did at 2:00. I went and had coffee before I went and talked to 12-year-olds."
Sorry, I can't take that coffee. I brought my own. Starbucks was on the way.
Come on,
serious.
Ron.
What a waste of time.
Waste of time?
You think the kids giving Corey Bush a coffee is somehow of unethical influence?
No gifts for you.
He's an idiot.
Nothing over.
what's
Okay,
a-
all right,
what's a
all right, all right,
gift?
all right. I'm
Because-
willing to concede this. Nothing over $10.
So she comes.
Nothing over $10. So you can
Well,
give me
most Starbucks
coffee.
are over
But
10
what
bucks.
what if you genuinely, let's say it's Kavanaugh and one of his buddies, Biff or whatever those guys' names were, they go on vacation together. Oh, you remember he had the friends with the goofy names? You remember that, don't
They're
you?
like drinking beer.
Yeah.
We drink
This is
beer.
my friend Bryson Kai.
Yeah. I mean, so what if Biff and Kavanaugh go and buy a case of beer together? I mean, where do you draw the line?
That's it. Nothing. They're $10. That's my line. I've drawn
Amy
it.
Coney
It's
Barrett
done.
has like 9 kids. She goes to a birthday party. Someone is at the birthday party, gives her kid a present. It happens to be a very wealthy conservative donor. You could say, well, she was party to that gift, and this was a conservative donor. I mean, you would go down a line of tedium that would stop.
But I think the
functioning of
frustration that comes from what a guy like Chris is making the argument on is, hey, we ought to do all this. That people are discounting the fact that the guy's got a $250,000 bus now that just happened to be financed by somebody, and everybody says, well, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's okay. Maybe you ought to have to disclose it. I understand how people would be like, yeah, you ought to be able to report everything, because we seem to find a way to rationalize this guy driving around in an RV that, he didn't have 2 nickels to rub
I think
together.
it should be.
I'm
I think
on Ranji's side, just not $10.
Well, it should be tedious.
They
That's the
do.
way I see. You are working for me.
There's
I'm
like
sorry, you're working for me.
Some guy's
And
walking up to Clarence Thomas was like, I know you don't like abortion, but maybe Mr. Washington can change.
Hey, you know what? I look at it this way. When people,
You needed to see the visual with that too. She
Yeah,
was like
sorry.
flaunting money. Yeah.
but when people sometimes complain about their jobs or not compensated enough or whatever, And then you inevitably have the counter argument from somebody else who says, well, just go get a better job then. If you don't like it, go get a better paying job. Okay. If you don't like the tedium of this, go do something else. Go work in the private sector then.
But
if you
Chris,
don't like it,
I think if you think
I get
about
what
your
you're saying,
life
but
realistically
I don't
around
care.
here, we would not have productive legislators.
No.
If you were, you're going to events, we have somebody come in here and they're going to sit with you for an hour and talk, and we give them a bottle of water. That's a gift.
That's under $5.
Not if it's.
It's under $10. Sorry, I raised my limit to 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not if it's a BLT from Crown Candy.
Here's what I know. I know I have friends, right, who have to itemize all of these different expenses in corporate America. It wastes an enormous amount of time when you're like, okay, I went to the airport, a packet of gum, $2.50. And you're taking people who have the capability and the intelligence and the position to make real changes and to continue to keep this country functioning, and you're tying them down with a $7 bottle of water.
How is that tying them down? Buy your own water.
I think we'll agree to disagree on
Ethics come from the inside out.
Well, I wish y'all would
the
take
end.
that approach when it comes to legislating a lot of this stuff like abortion, etc. Let people make their own ethical decisions on what they want to do with their own body.
I absolutely agree. You ought to be able to do with your own body whatever you want. But in the case of abortion, there's two people involved.
Well, that's an ethical decision, whether or not that's the case. Some people don't believe that.
Also from the inside out.
It's not. I've yet to see a pregnant human produce anything other than a human when they get pregnant. So,
Well, I mean, I want to say a thing, but I
Don't
can't say
say
a
it.
thing.
Don't
I can't
say
say a
it.
thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't say it. Yeah.
Oops, gotta go.
It'd have been good. Guys,
Yeah.
here's the good news for the two of you.
Yes.
You are not in Congress. You could take whatever gifts you want.
That's right.
I'll buy you a coffee. I'll buy you 2 coffees.
We're not allowed to take certain gifts. We have to take a little lesson
Payola.
and plugola.
Oh, how tedious.
Yeah.
I
I
know.
should
Have you
be
taken your unit?
outraged.
Have
My-
you done the unit?
What's the unit?
Oh, so then you haven't. There's a whole payola and plugola unit. Do you not have time for it?
Oh, you call it a unit, like the training thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. I don't know what unit
Who
meant.
calls a unit? Where's
what are you
that coming
talking
from?
I was the last employee in all
Teachers
of
call it
Odyssey
units.
to
It's
complete the training.
No, it's Amy.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I was
no,
the last
he
one.
was the
In
last
in
one.
the
Oh,
entire-
that's right.
in
You
the
got the
entire
email.
company.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Like
proud
all
of that.
across the country,
Yes.
not in the
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did
Yeah.
you get an email or something that said, "Hey, John Hancock, you were literally the last
I did.
person in the country to take
Yeah.
this training"?
Was
Yeah.
it from David Fields?
No.
Was it from Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Steve called me and he's like, "Do not hang up this phone until you start this training." He said on the phone with me
Oh,
while I
Steve
had to
is
take
the
the
I know we're
training.
not supposed to say this on air, but those questions are not easy.
Yeah, they were.
No, they weren't.
That's why you can't be in government.
No, I mean,
In
can
my
you tell
world-
Amy she has a nice jacket or not?
Yeah, you can.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But there was one instance where you weren't supposed to comment on people's outfits.
No, it's not the outfit.
Yes, it was. I took the training. I'm not going to take it from some guy who violated the law for a year and a half and didn't even take the training.
I took the training.
I took it and
I'm
passed.
trained.
But
John,
And I'm
you had to
telling
pay
you, you
attention.
can compliment her on her jacket if
John?
it was worthy of it.
are you a
Uh,
criminal?
What?
He said you could compliment me on my jacket if it were worthy of it. Guys, I'm wearing a lilac blazer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sure
like
is.
something that the Joker was wearing, in the movie.
These guys, they really hate blazers.
We gotta go.
I can't
The
win
suit
with a
wasn't
blazer.
cheap.
What's up
I don't
next?
know.
We
All
got,
right.
we
Hey,
got we're talking
you-
about things and stuff.
Yeah. Did you see
That.
This.
this?
Oh, this.
Guys, thank you. Have a
See
good
ya.
weekend.
Yeah,
I know.
you guys too.
Accept all the gifts you want over the weekend.
I'm ready.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Diamonds Direct is making it easier than ever to design your dream ring at your dream payment. Announcing all new aggressive financing options up to 60 months. These new creative plans allow you to pick your payment so you don't have to compromise on that engagement ring. We know that just like that ideal engagement ring, one size doesn't fit all. You want choices, alternatives, options, and as always, we want to empower you every step of the way. Diamonds Direct's multitude of finance options now allow you to spread your payments up to 5 years. Pay nothing down or pay a lot down. You decide. Get a $400 a month payment or a $200 a month payment. It's your choice, so you can get the most beautiful engagement ring and have money left over for other fun things like a tropical honeymoon or decorating the house. And by the way, it's not just for engagement rings. You can use these flexible financing options for wedding bands, designer jewelry, gifts for any occasions. At Diamonds Direct, we're always finding ways to help you make your money go farther. Your love, our passion. Get directions, showroom hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, I'm Maria Kina, inviting you to join us for our annual KMOX blood drive in memory of Brett Bloom. Brett fought cancer in 2019. We asked you then to donate blood, and the response, it was overwhelming. We lost Brett, but there are so many people today, right now, who need your help. The KMOX blood drive in memory of Brett Bloom, Thursday, August 24th from 2 to 7 p.m. Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or redcrossblood.org and use the sponsor code KMOX.
Hey, it's Joel Rauch, owner of Iguana Marine Group. There's still time to enjoy your summer on the water, and we're loaded with inventory for immediate delivery. With a Godfrey Tri-Tune, you'll be the envy of the water. Right now, save up to $45,000 on select models.
Don't miss out on the hottest summer sales event. Experience the ultimate water adventure aboard a Godfrey Tri-Tune, an unparalleled service and selection from Iguana Marine Group. Go to iguanamarinegroup.com or any of their 4 convenient locations. Iguana Marine Group, where memories on the water are made. Freight and prep additions and savings based on MSRP.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret. My unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 314-207-8600.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. And you can do this. Real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Results may vary. Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. August is a great month to help out the environment by improving your gas mileage. Make sure your tires are properly inflated and heavy items like golf clubs aren't stored in your trunk. Take your car in for a tune-up to ensure it's running at peak performance. And when the weather is nice, walk or bike to your destination to enjoy a beautiful summer day. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
We're back! Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that. Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Yes.
Go on.
Go on. Hold on. So sorry. Did you see this?
Well, jeez. Did you forget what we were doing?
I'm so
You know,
sorry.
I'll tell you what.
No.
Let me offer something to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what today is?
Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Okay.
It is August 11th.
Yeah.
But today, I don't know if this is going to ruin your day
Okay.
or make you happy.
Okay.
Today is the last day of the year that the sun will set at 8 o'clock or later.
Is it? Oh, you know what's so weird that you say that?
Yep.
Last night, I was doing errands and I was driving. I was hitting all the stores as
Yep.
they closed at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m., and I got to every store before they closed.
You're thinking it's getting dark quick, isn't
That's
it?
exactly what I was thinking.
Yep. Today is the last day that the sunset will be 8 o'clock, and it's going to be 8 o'clock on the nose. And then tomorrow, it's either 7:58 or 59. But we are officially getting into shorter days as we head toward the fall.
Do you know what else?
I'm sorry to report. I'm happy about it because I love the fall.
Well, I do love fall.
it.
I love fall. Here's the thing. I'm that person that loves looking forward to things. So I do want it to be fall because fall is extended with, September, October, November. You can really lean into it. But I kind of like looking forward to the fall more than it passing by. Once it hits, it's gone. It's just like Christmas. I wish
The
Christmas would
anticipation.
never get here.
I agree with you.
I love Christmas. It's
Yep.
my favorite season, but I don't want Christmas Day to get there. I love the anticipation.
Absolutely. The
So-
best thing about Christmas is all the days before Christmas.
That's exactly right. Also, along those lines, I don't know if you saw this, but Caldi's Coffee, Taleo Coffee in Kirkwood,
Yeah.
they're all announcing their fall drinks. So like their maple lattes are out. I don't think the pumpkin spice is out yet with Starbucks.
It's coming.
But all of the fall drinks are coming out in the coffee shops, and that's become a harbinger of fall.
And people are getting upset, and they always do inevitably every single year when pumpkin spice latte comes out too soon for their liking.
Which is a weird thing to get upset
Why don't you get
about.
mad about it? It's available sooner? Come on, let's go.
And I will say, I love the idea of a pumpkin spice latte. Like, I love the idea. I love saying it. I love that it's out. I don't like them. They taste kind of burnt to me. I don't like them at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love them. I think they're so good.
I think they're gross.
That's it. It's very, very helpful.
I have a did you see this that's
Yeah.
not very fun
Oh,
because
God.
generally we try to make them fun. But did you see that senators have proposed a new law to ban members of Congress and executive officials, including the president, from trading stocks?
This is the Josh Hawley and Gillibrand.
Yep. Josh Hawley,
Bill.
Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. It's the Ban Stock Trading for Government Officials Act.
Let's go.
Right on the nose.
Let's go.
So the new bill would bar Washington officials from owning or trading stocks, even in blind trusts. It would impose penalties against those found to break the rules. The penalties, of course, would vary according to the infraction. And so it's getting major public support nationwide. In a survey by the University of Maryland's Program for Public Consultation, 86% in favor of this ban.
Yes. Yes. I am too. And this is very much along the lines of what we were talking about with the Supreme Court.
And
I'm sorry. And I know you guys think it's tedious, and yes. I also realize it's probably unrealistic, but I do not care. I don't care. That's the way it should be. It should be that you can't receive anything if you're in a position of influence,
Yeah.
because you're most likely, if you're Clarence Thomas, the people you hang out with are going to be, this is just an example,
Mhm.
they're going to be supremely wealthy people who have a lot of sway over you if they give you a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't care if it's $5 or $1 billion. I don't think you should get anything if you're in Congress or if you are a member of the Supreme Court. Sorry. You don't want to do that or live by those rules? Go do something else because you work for me. That's my opinion. And I will probably never come off that, however ridiculous people think it is. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. Hey, we're going to do a draft today. It's Draft Friday next on KMOX.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem. And they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
Hi, I'm Kevin Wheeler, and I want to talk to you about Ophthalmology Associates. And of course, they are known as the doctors' doctors because they treat more doctors in the area than any other practice. Now, of course, the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates, Dr. Birdie, Malhotra, Brasati, and Royer, are experts in their fields. They diagnose and treat all kinds of diseases of the eye, from dry eye to allergy eyes to cataracts to macular degeneration, glaucoma, and they can obviously consult on LASIK surgery as well and perform that surgery for you as well. The most important thing I can tell you, and it's what I learned when I visited Dr. Malhotra, is to stay ahead of the game. Get your appointment done, get your eyes checked out, and cut off potential problems in the future as early as possible. Give them a call to set up an appointment, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com. You'll find Ophthalmology Associates 1/2 mile west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Siding Express can totally transform the look of your home by installing Hardy Shake, board and batten, or a stone accent to make it your dream home. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor. Go to sidingexpress.com to schedule a free no-obligation consultation today.
The New York Times calls BritBox the best of British telly. Stream brilliant series you can only find on BritBox. Unlock acclaimed favourites like Vera and Stonehouse, plus the upcoming original drama Archie, the story of Cary Grant. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we've got sun. It's 84 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. The federal judge overseeing former President Trump's election conspiracy case has imposed a limited protective order that would prevent Mr. Trump from speaking publicly about prosecution evidence deemed sensitive in the case. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
It's about the scope of the protective order. And I think if you really follow along with what's happening in the hearing, what the judge is saying here is, I understand the need for a protective order. That is typical in cases like this. But government, I think you just went a little too broad.
Noah Bookbinder heads a nonprofit Citizens Watchdog.
Prosecutors usually don't want defendants saying publicly what the evidence is, who the witnesses might be, all things that could be calculated to influence the case going forward.
The judge warned Mr. Trump's legal team, your client's defense is supposed to happen in the courtroom, not on the internet. CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
The Protect Illinois Communities Act is upheld by the state's Supreme Court.
It was a 4-3 ruling that maintains the bans on the sale of AR-15s, AK-47s, and large magazines. The High Court struck down a lower court's ruling that found the law violated the federal and Illinois constitutions, like opponents to the ban had claimed. In a statement, Governor J.B. Pritzker says this is a common-sense gun reform law to keep mass killing machines off our streets and out of our schools, malls, parks, and places of worship. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
The Biden administration asked Congress to provide more than $13 billion in emergency defense aid to Ukraine and an additional $8 billion for humanitarian support through the end of the year.
The request another massive infusion of cash as the Russian invasion wears on and Ukraine pushes a counteroffensive against the Kremlin's deeply entrenched forces. While the last such supplemental spending request from the White House for Ukraine funding was easily approved in 2022, despite reservations from Republicans, there's a different dynamic this time around. A political divide on the issue has steadily grown, with the Republican-led House facing enormous pressure to demonstrate support for the party's leader, Donald Trump, who has been very skeptical of the war. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
It's a big recall of big pickups from Toyota due to a potential fire risk. Jeff Gilbert has more.
The 2022 and 23 Tundras have a plastic fuel tube that can rub against a brake line and potentially leak. So Toyota's recalling 168,000 trucks. First dealers will do a temporary repair. Those dealers will perform a second permanent repair once Toyota comes up with a fix.
There's no word on whether there have been fires or injuries connected with the issue. The KMOX Business Desk, where are college athletes getting their money?
NCAA athletes are making the big bucks off of TikTok. According to a licensing consultant, social media comprises 80% of the name, image, and likeness portfolios of student athletes. Some can make as much as $25,000 per post. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel up 94 points to 35,270. We've got emergency vehicles on 270 south to 70 west. The right lane is closed. We've also got some slow-moving road work on 6440 going west at Route K, and there the right lane is blocked.
KMOX AccuWeather, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. A bit of a breeze up to 95 with real feels reaching near 100 this afternoon. Thunderstorms around tonight into tomorrow morning. They can be severe with downpours, hail, damaging wind gusts, and isolated tornado. Low to mid-70s, and then hot and very humid the rest of tomorrow. Low to mid-90s. Real feels near 100. Shower and thunderstorm chances back in on Sunday. The high 84. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got sun, blue sky. It's 84 in Florissant, 84 St. Peter's, and also 84 downtown at the Arch. The feels like is 90. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show. Sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com. It's time for the draft.
Please close the door. There's an awful draft in here.
No, not that type of draft.
The number one pick in the draft goes to
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, and the draft.
We've been waiting all week for draft day. We've been waiting a month for draft day. It's been a while since we've done one. It is Friday. It is time for the draft here on the Chris and Amy Show. And here's where it started for some reason.
Yeah.
Yesterday in the studio, you and I were talking about, Brandon Lee came up.
You brought up Brandon
I don't know
Lee.
why.
Every 3 months you bring up Brandon Lee.
When did I bring up Brand? I've never brought
you
him
have.
up. No, okay.
Yes.
Okay. You're thinking of somebody else. Brandon Lee.
You know why? I know why you brought him up. Sorry. Here's why
Why?
you brought him up. When the Baldwin guy.
I remember what it was.
Yeah. No, but
No.
the first time you brought him up was when the Baldwin guy.
I remember what
Shot the
happened
person.
yesterday, though.
Okay.
Because
happened yesterday?
I thought of a movie line in my head where a detective walks up and there's a dead body, a murdered body on the ground, and he says, "Who's this sack of crap?" And it didn't say crap.
Yeah.
I thought, where'd that come from? And anyway, started thinking about Brandon Lee and how that was like his major breakout movie, but he died while filming the movie because there was an accident on set, much like you said, the Alec Baldwin movie Rust situation.
Which is the first time you brought up Brandon Lee, which is why I say you bring him up every 3.5 months.
Okay. So anyway, I thought I really would have liked to seen how his career went. He was the son of an extremely famous person, Bruce Lee, as you know, and
The 1-inch punch.
That's the one, Amy. That's the guy. And I thought he was pretty good in The Crow, the movie The Crow. And I thought I would love to have seen where he went after this.
Yeah.
So it got us to thinking, why don't we draft people whose careers ended too quickly?
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Could be anything, death,
Injury.
cancellation, whatever. Right? So that's
you
what we're
don't
drafting.
believe in cancellation, so you can't claim that anybody's career ended because
No,
of
I think it's
cancellation.
called consequences for actions, but yes.
CFA.
Yeah, CFA. You call it cancellation, I call it being a dummy and having consequences, like when you're a child, because that's how the world works. So, Amy, who gets to draft first today?
I think I should.
Okay.
Actually, you should if
So
you take Brandon Lee.
But is Brandon Lee off the table, or I think we should be able to select? He's on the
He's
table
on the
because he
table.
started the whole thing. Okay.
Do you want to take him first?
You know what? I am. But
Perfect.
for my number one selection in the careers cut too short draft, I am selecting Brandon Lee,
All right. And
son
you,
of Bruce Lee.
Yep.
The Crow is a good movie, by the way. Great Cure song in the movie.
Do you know who loves Bruce Lee? And I found out randomly because I was writing a story on Vladimir Tarasenko and the way he takes his shot. Tarasenko has a very, very heavy shot, but he doesn't have $1 million windup. In fact, he can snap a wrist shot while the puck is parallel with his skates, which is really hard to do. So goalies don't see it coming. It's way heavier. And it reminded me of the 1-inch punch. Someone shouldn't be able to shoot the puck that hard. So I was writing a story on him, and rather sheepishly, I asked him, are you familiar with Bruce Lee? And he said, oh, yeah. He goes, we practice the 1-inch punch. So he and his son pretend to do it where they do the 1-inch punch and then he jumps back on the couch.
Yeah.
And he goes, I watch all the Bruce Lee movies on road trips.
That's cool.
I know. It was very, very cool.
So
Okay,
Brandon Lee, my number one selection. Amy, what
My-
is your number one?
Number one selection would be a man who would be president for sure if his career had not been cut short, and that's JFK Jr.
JFK Jr.
With the looks that JFK Jr. had and the last name of Kennedy, there's no way he doesn't become president.
Interesting. Well, now Robert Kennedy
I
Jr.
mean-
is going to get it.
I know, if that wackadoodle can make it this far, don't you think it's not beyond reason to think that JFK Jr. would have been president?
Oh, yeah, probably.
I mean, he makes Gavin Newsom look, slubby. JFK Jr. would have been president.
That's not a bad pick. I don't know if he would have been president, but he would have had a really good chance at it. And then maybe it makes RFK's chances even better. Like, hell, let's just have the whole family run for president and be president. All right, so
Camelot,
JFK,
baby, Camelot.
JFK Jr. is your number one
Yep.
pick. So my second pick in the draft, this is number 3 overall. Man, this is a tough one.
Okay.
Because I have a lot that I like. I'm going to go with Bo Jackson.
No, that was
Bo
mine.
Jackson.
That was my number 2 pick.
Guy had a hip injury and
Ugh.
would have been spectacular. I almost put, I'm not going to, just in case you pick him,
Yeah.
but I don't think you would.
Can't believe you picked him.
And he ended up having a long career that ended up, I'm going to tell you about him anyway. But Ken Griffey Jr.,
Oh.
he's still in the Hall of Fame. But if he doesn't suffer all the injuries he did, I wonder just how much better he would have been. Like a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. It's Ken Griffey Jr. He was
Ken
one of the
Griffey
greats
Jr.
ever. But I think he could have been even greater had he not had the injuries. Anyway, Bo Jackson,
Mhm.
career cut short. That's my number 2 pick. Your second pick, number 4 overall.
Tupac.
Oh,
Tupac Shakur.
You don't even like Tupac.
I know Tupac. I know enough to know that he was 25 when he died.
You don't even know Tupac.
You don't know Tupac.
Yeah,
You know
okay.
why I was thinking about him? Because of the Pac-12 is losing all of its teams, and Stanford and Oregon
I think
left.
they're now technically a 2-pack.
They are. They're Tupac. Because there are only 2 teams left in the Pac-12.
Absolutely wild, isn't it?
It's so weird.
Yeah, it really is. All right, so good for you. You
Thanks.
picked Tupac.
Thank you very
All
much.
eyes on me now. So let's see. All right. This is kind of it's not a cop-out. I was going to go with one of these two, and you
Okay.
picked the one. I'm picking the other one. It's Biggie.
Yeah.
I'm picking Notorious B.I.G., who was he was either 25 or 26,
Yeah.
but they were both murdered. And that's one of those careers. I would love to see an old Tupac and an old Biggie being on like game shows.
Yeah.
Like Snoop is in everything. Snoop has 15 different shows he's in, hosting game shows, hosting talk shows. I would love to have seen where Biggie and Pac went with this.
Yeah.
Would have been great.
Yep.
Anyway, so Notorious B.I.G., my number 3. Your third pick, number 6 overall, is
Yep. And this is I know all the runners out there will appreciate this. Probably surprised I picked Tupac first, but that would be Steve Prefontaine. He was perhaps the greatest American long distance runner from 73 to 75, 1973 to 1975. He set American records at every distance from the 2K to the 10K. He competed in the 72 Summer Olympics. He was 24 when he died in a car crash.
Man.
Frank Shorter, he was the first American man to win a gold medal in the Olympic marathon. He ran, this was that resurgence of running, right, in the 70s. He was with Steve Prefontaine. They were at a party. They'd been drinking. And Pre had this little sports car. This was up in Oregon. He had this little sports car, and he dropped Frank Shorter off at his house minutes before he took that famous curve in Oregon, that road. There's Pre's Rock, and his convertible flipped over a bunch of times, and he was crushed.
Jeez.
So you can go visit Pre's Rock, but it's crazy that Frank Shorter was in the car and was dropped off just minutes before that.
It's horrible. So now we're in post-Fontaine, would you say? Sorry. Okay. Prefontaine. Should I have not said that?
I don't think anyone's. I've talked about this story.
You've
and
never
no
thought of
one's-
Post Fontaine? Was that bad?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right. My fourth pick in the career cut short draft.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, he was on my
He
list.
was only 27.
That's crazy. He was in the 27 club. Janis
Oh,
Joplin,
yeah, well,
Kurt
yeah.
Cobain.
Yeah.
All 27.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
All
That's
right,
a good.
Amy,
Okay,
so-
mine,
Jimi Hendrix. That's my number 4. Your fourth. This will be number 8 overall.
James Dean, 24 years
James
old.
Dean.
He won an Oscar posthumously for East. What was the one that he won it for? I got to find it. But he was 24. I forgot that James Dean was 24. I knew he was young, but when I looked this up, I was shocked that he was that young when he died. Born in 31.
James Dean.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good pick. So you want to do one more here?
Sure.
All right. So the my number 5 pick in this draft, you mentioned him. I was going to pick either Jimmy or this guy first, and then I picked Jimmy first. Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain is easy, and that was, I can't believe he's not higher on my list.
Mm-hmm.
I think I took Bo Jackson because I had a feeling you might, so I just took him from you. So Kurt Cobain was the first celebrity that I can remember that really affected me when he died. I didn't cry or anything, but I was really affected by it. I couldn't stop watching coverage because I was you're in the perfect time of your life to pick up Nirvana, right? You're in high school. He's such a big deal. And then he does that. And it was just so affecting to me. And I remember I couldn't stop watching all the coverage. It was devastating, man. I think for a lot of people. So Kurt Cobain gone way too soon.
This one is another member of the 27 Club. Another member, Amy Winehouse.
Oh, yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
That's too bad. All right, Amy Winehouse. You want to pick a bonus pick?
Sure. Do you have someone in mind?
No.
Don't you? I do.
Okay.
Well, you got to.
Yeah, all right. Paul Walker.
Okay.
Paul Walker is my bonus pick.
Why are you laughing about it?
Because why do I care about Paul Walker?
Well, because he's dead. So mine is actually along those same lines. Heath Ledger.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
That's a better one.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger, really great pick.
Man, this
all
is
right.
a pretty. I got a.
This is a good draft.
Lineup.
I think so. All right. So here was our the results here, and if you have submissions you'd like to give us, 314-436-7900. They don't have to be people who have died. It could be people who have had massive injuries or they just stop acting.
You don't have to have died, just maimed or injured.
Or they just quit the business. They quit music. They quit acting, whatever.
Would Michael J. Fox have counted or no? He did so much for so long.
Yeah, he did a lot. I'm not sure how much. And he's still acting. He still does stuff. He was still on Curb.
So I did.
That was a long time ago, though, I
Someone
guess.
said Grant Hill, but he played for a long
Played
time.
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the draft today, careers that ended
short.
way too soon
Yep.
for whatever reason. My team was Brandon Lee, Bo Jackson, Notorious, B.I.G., Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, Paul Walker. Amy selected JFK Jr.,
Yep.
Tupac, Prefontaine, James Dean, Amy Winehouse, and Heath Ledger. So we will, at our Twitter account, at Chris Amy KMOX, we're going to put up the Twitter poll. You can decide who you think had the best draft today.
We want to hear from you. 314-436-7900. And Ranj, maybe we should text Claves. Ask him. Because we're talking
he's
to
going to
Claves.
be on with us.
Right. We're going, but just to give him a heads up. It's hard on the spot to think of it.
All right. We'll
But
let him know
he'll
ahead
be
of
joining
time.
us at 11:30.
Okay. Sounds good. So don't forget, go to at Chris Amy KMOX. In fact, why don't you just go ahead and follow us there? Follow us there. The Odyssey app. We want you to download that and listen to the show live. Listen to the podcast when the show is over. You can listen to KMOX.com as well. The Odyssey app, if you are in an area where 98.7 FM doesn't come in clear, the Odyssey app does. It sounds great. So download it for free and listen live, and the podcast, as I mentioned. Do it, and do it now. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
An important message from SNL Coins. SNL Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to SNL at 544-3600. SNL Coins, 544-3600. Or visit SNL Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call SNL, 544-3600.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. According to Remodeling Magazine's latest cost versus value report, a new garage door has 100% return on investment upon resale. If you're shopping for a new garage door, talk to my friends over at Renner, formerly St. Louis Door Company. Family owned and top rated garage door repair and replacements in St. Louis for over 50 years. RENNER, forward and back. For information and specials, go to RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, the garage door company that does.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDRURYLaw.com.
Hey, Debbie Monterey here. Before you sell your home, you should know what it's worth in today's market. Call Gloria Liu. She'll tell you. With 20 plus years of experience, Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty has been successfully selling homes in your area for more money than the average agent. Gloria has multiple selling options that give you, the seller, the power of how and when your home is sold. A few of Gloria's options include bringing multiple cash offers from her substantial pool of investors, a zero commission program, and don't forget Gloria's guaranteed sale program. How can Gloria guarantee the sale of your home? Because Gloria's database of buyers is huge, and she's so confident that she can sell your home that she can put her own money where her mouth is. So just call Gloria today, your local St. Louis real estate expert, at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
KMOX is the regional Edward R. Murrow Award winner for newscast.
It is Chris and Amy here on KMOX, and we do have a little bit of breaking news. So for that, let's send it to Michael Calhoun in the KMOX newsroom. Michael?
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington. We are coming to you on the air to bring you an announcement from the Department of Justice. Attorney General Merrick Garland is making a statement and is making some detailed remarks that we will bring you in a moment. What we know is that it has to do with President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Let's listen in.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to announce the appointment of David Weiss as a special counsel, consistent with the Department of Justice regulations governing such matters. In keeping with those regulations, I have today notified the designated members of each House of Congress of the appointment. In February 2018, after being nominated by the former president and confirmed by the Senate, Mr. Weiss was sworn in as the United States Attorney for the District of Delaware. Mr. Weiss had been a career prosecutor, having served previously in the office for more than a decade. Beginning in 2019, Mr. Weiss, in his capacity as U.S. Attorney and along with federal law enforcement partners, began investigating allegations of certain criminal conduct by, among others, Robert Hunter Biden. That investigation has been recently referenced in federal criminal proceedings in the District of Delaware, and as noted in those proceedings and other public statements by Mr. Weiss's office, that investigation remains ongoing. In February 2021, U.S. Attorney Weiss was asked to remain as U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware and, in that capacity, to continue to lead the investigation. As I said before, Mr. Weiss would be permitted to continue his investigation, take any investigative steps he wanted, and make the decision whether to prosecute in any district. Mr. Weiss has told Congress that he has been granted ultimate authority over this matter, including the responsibility for deciding where, when, and whether to file charges, and for making decisions necessary to preserve the integrity of any prosecution consistent with federal law, the principles of federal prosecution, and departmental policies. In a July 2023 letter to Congress, Mr. Weiss said that he had not to that point requested special counsel designation. On Tuesday of this week, Mr. Weiss advised me that in his judgment, his investigation had reached a stage at which he should continue his work as a special counsel, and he asked to be so appointed. Upon considering his request, as well as the extraordinary circumstances relating to this matter, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint him as special counsel. This appointment confirms my commitment to provide Mr. Weiss all the resources he requests. It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation and to continue to take the steps he deems appropriate independently, based only on the facts and the law. Mr. Weiss will also continue to serve as U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware. As special counsel, he will continue to have the authority and responsibility that he has previously exercised to oversee the investigation and decide where, when, and whether to file charges. The special counsel will not be subject to the day-to-day supervision of any official of the department, but he must comply with the regulations, procedures, and policies of the department. Consistent with the special counsel regulations, at the conclusion of Mr. Weiss's work, he will provide me with a report explaining the prosecution or declination decisions reached by him. As with each special counsel who has served since I have taken office, I am committed to making as much of his report public as possible, consistent with legal requirements and department policy. Today's announcement affords the prosecutors, agents, and analysts working on this matter the ability to proceed with their work expeditiously and to make decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law. The men and women undertaking this investigation are public servants who have dedicated their careers to protecting the citizens of this country. The appointment of Mr. Weiss reinforces for the American people the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters. I am confident that Mr. Weiss will carry out his responsibility in an even-handed and urgent manner and in accordance with the highest traditions of this department. Thank you.
If U.S. Attorney Weiss had the authorities he needed,
You just heard some extraordinary remarks there from the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who walked off without taking those shouted.
Okay, that is the Attorney General Merrick Garland in an announcement just a few moments ago that they have David Weiss has been appointed special counsel to continue to look into the president's son, Hunter Biden.
Yes, and continue is the word there because he did lead the initial investigation. If you're wondering, oh, that name sounds familiar, that's why.
All right, so there it is. We will get an update from the newsroom again. I believe Michael's got the news here coming up, but it is Chris and Amy. We do want to hear from you. 314-436-7900. Again, David Weiss, special counsel, continuing to investigate Hunter Biden. You are listening to KMOX.
Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce new floor plans to Sutton Farms in Wentzville. The Parkside series of homes offers ranch and two-story plans starting from the mid-300s. Select from hundreds of pre-designed options to personalize your home or choose full customization if there is something specific you're dreaming about. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms offers a private, rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
It's lonely at the top. Successful leaders aren't just adjusting to change, they're demonstrating more resilience than ever to be successful. CMA Global offers a program to coach your leaders. Coaches offer thought partnership in a safe, confidential manner to make it less lonely at the top. The desire to take your organization to the next level is at the heart of everything they do at CMA Global. Let them show you how they can guide your leaders to reach their full potential, even in this ever-changing marketplace. Go to CMAconsult.com. CMA Global, when your people thrive, your business thrives.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed David Weiss as a special counsel in the Hunter Biden investigation. Hawaii emergency management records show no indication that warning sirens sounded before people ran for their lives from wildfires on Maui that killed at least 55 people. Instead, officials sent alerts to mobile phones, but widespread power and cellular outages may have limited their reach. The economic impact in Hawaii. This afternoon, sunny, hot, humid, high 95. Real feel temperatures near 100. Thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow with a low 70 to 75. High tomorrow 90 to 95. It's 85 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Manchester Coin and Jewelry is the estate buyers. From fine jewelry to costume jewelry, watches, working or not, on Manchester Road west of 141. It's Manchester Coin and Jewelry, the estate buyers.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Carol Daniel for PNCC speak the language of executives. Michael Scully, regional president of PNC, and I had the privilege to talk with Christian Sorth, director and CEO of the St. Louis County Library, about their growth, community collaborations, and the feeling of belonging at the library. PNCC Speak shares the stories and pioneering approaches of successful business leaders so you can hear ideas that spark growth in your business. Listen today at KMOX.com/PNCC Speak. PNCC Speak, the language of executives.
What defines us is who we are as a collective group and how we progress and gain momentum through the season.
The Coach's Corner with St. Louis City coach Bradley Carnell. Mondays at 9:35 on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt.
I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar.
I'm Woodson Contreras.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Kisner now ready. First pitch to him is hit high in the air to left field, and that is traveling deep into left center. And they look up, and it is gone. Andrew Kisner has hit a big fly to deep left center field. A two-run shot, his 9th of the year, and the Cardinals jump out on top 2-0.
Last night, the Cardinals secured a series victory against the Tampa Bay Rays, a pretty good baseball team, in fact. And today, it is Friday, which means we speak to our guy, Michael Claiborne. Mike Claiborne is with us here on KMOX. A terrific start. First of all, hey, hello to you, Mike. Thank you for being with us.
You too, Ranger.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, I love it. I forgot about Ranger. Nice work.
Yeah.
Nice work, Claibs.
I love you guys so much. Hey.
See, I was paying attention.
I know you're paying attention. Hey, before we get to baseball, because we're going to get to baseball here because that's what this is about. Today we drafted careers that ended too soon for whatever reason, death, just cancellation, whatever. Careers that ended too soon in any thing that you could think of. What comes to mind for you?
I would have to think music or acting. People who were one-hit wonders. Like Milli Vanilli. Remember them from back in the day?
Yes.
Milli Vanilli. Blame it on the
I think there's a Milli
rain.
Vanilli documentary that just came out.
There is. I think it is. But I would think somewhere along that, because politicians kind of come and go. I mean, they kind of come and go. I would stay in that lane, because athletes, their situation is it's a really short shelf life, but they don't just fall off the earth, but you do wonder when a guy's out of your organization and you wonder, where's he at now? And then you find out he's playing like in the Frontier League or out east in some independent league. So, those things happen. But I would start with the music and acting industries. Those are the ones who seems like a real short shelf life.
You know who was my first overall pick? It was JFK Jr. because I think he would have been president. I think he would have been president.
Good call. Yeah, I agree. I think he was on that track. Very well liked and received by a lot of people, and unfortunately lost in a plane accident. So that's a good one. What about you, Ranger?
I went with the reason this all started was because I was thinking about Brandon Lee from Bruce Lee's son.
Kid.
Yeah, from The Crow. And I thought he was pretty good in The Crow, and it was like his first big movie, and died during the shooting of the movie. So,
but you went with Brandon Lee, but your number 2 was
Bo Jackson. I picked Bo Jackson second.
Well, I think he had a pretty good career. I mean, obviously in it suddenly, but he put up some numbers in both baseball and football. He was an all-star. And I'll tell you a guy from a movie standpoint.
Yeah.
Who was the guy? Roberto Cellini. Remember, he won for A Beautiful Life.
Oh, yeah,
the
Italian guy.
Yeah, I mean, never to be heard from again.
Yeah, what happened?
Now,
to
maybe
him?
he's a big shot in Rome somewhere, but I know, I've never seen him in anything in this country.
Glabes, I think you'll also appreciate this pick. I picked Steve Prefontaine.
Killed in a car accident, University of Oregon, and really one of the great track stars. As a matter of fact, they named the event after him. But he was killed in a car accident, and he had so much in front of him. There's no question about that.
Yeah. So I said to Amy, and she's very offended that so now it's more like post Fontaine.
Ranger, you just never know how to keep your foot out of it, man. You always find a way to step in it.
Not only did I step in it, but I went back and stepped twice.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I already did it once.
Yeah.
And
he showed
went back
everybody
to
his shoe afterwards.
And you know what? Here's Claves over here.
You smell it.
Here's Claves over here like, oh, I can't believe it. And deep down, he's like, that's great. He's laughing in the pit of his soul. He's laughing about that.
You wish I was laughing.
I know you are. I see that
you
smile.
You want somebody to.
I hear
agree
the
with you
smile.
on that.
I hear it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Claves last night, Matthew Liberatore, fantastic, and for a rotation needs to be built for next season. It would be great if he just runs with it like that.
Yeah, I think now that we know he can do it at this level, then we expect him to be able to do it. And I think there was a little apprehension with regard to how good is this guy. Remember, former first-round pick. Tampa gave up on him early. We got him in a trade. Had just been okay at his best. And then last night he comes out and he's dealing against one of the better teams in baseball. By the way, the first left-hander to win in Tampa, opposing left-hander to win in Tampa this year, or in St. Pete this year against the Rays. So now we know he can do it. We just need to make sure he can replicate it.
Yeah, it'd be great. Of course, you don't expect the guy to go 8 innings and 2-hit a team like Tampa, but it's just it's a matter of being a 5 or 6 inning guy regularly with those additional 7 inning starts every now and then. If they find that from him, I think that's probably not realistic in his case.
Why not? Again, Tampa has done a good job of drafting players, and if they thought enough of him to be drafted in the first round, they saw something in him, and maybe
Yeah.
they saw something that they didn't feel could take him to the next level. So now he's a little older. He's a little bit more he's out of regimen as far as his preparation and getting stronger in certain areas. So who knows what can happen next?
Yeah, it would be cool. That would make their jobs a whole lot easier during the offseason because, as we've talked about, it's not just one or two spots they've got to fill here. I mean, they're looking at 3 places in the rotation that they're going to have to figure out before next season.
There's no doubt. And you know what? You probably ought to have a couple of other starters available. Now, whether they're in your organization or whether you bring them in, I think it's almost insane to think that your rotation is going to stay the same throughout a course of a 162 game season, even though they pitch less innings. I mean, I don't get it, but these guys are just not as durable as we expect them to be.
Mike Claiborne visiting with us here on KMOX. What is your feeling about they're going to hang on to Arenado, obviously, and Paul Goldschmidt? I seriously doubt there's any kind of off-season trade that happens involving them. But the offense this year has been okay. I mean, they've scored enough to win games. It's just the pitching hasn't been there. So as we go into next season, do you still feel pretty confident about how many runs they'll score?
Yeah, I do. I think the approach they've taken this year has been admirable. Throw in the fact that you don't have Brendan Donovan. The challenge that you have is you have a lot of guys that do the same thing. So you got to figure out how to weed that out and be a little bit more efficient with how you put your roster together. But overall, yeah, they swing the bat with as well as anybody. And the one thing about them, they seem to be able to hit good pitching from the opposition fairly well. I mean, you look at their numbers against some of the top pitchers in the league, with the exception of Steele in Chicago with the Cubs. He's kind of been good against the Cardinals. But everybody else, the Cardinals have had some decent success against. So their approach is working. Would you like to add another bat? Of course you do. Where that comes from, is it internally? I don't know. But I think you need a little bit more experience as far as just another veteran to kind of show some people the way and maybe challenge people to be a little bit better within the clubhouse.
Claibs, right now, the Cardinals' average ticket price is among the lowest in Major League Baseball. I think they're the 7th cheapest ticket right now. A lot of discounted tickets for obvious reasons. Has not been a good season. The Cardinals aren't used to being this bad and this being in last place in the division. And we've talked about it a lot from a baseball standpoint, but I think it also goes to show just how important the Cardinals are to this city, because with the drop in ticket prices and fewer people actually attending games, spending in bars, restaurants, shops, and everything else downtown has also dropped. And I think that's a bigger story. The Cardinals are a huge part of this city.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Everybody feels it. And, we kind of take it for granted until we see something like this. Because we haven't seen it before, so it's something that everybody should want to be on board for going into next year. So it should be a busy off season. It should be a very talked about off season where there's some anticipation that builds in the off season going into next year, because this is something you don't want to revisit. I can promise you that. Hey, speaking of economy, local economy, we've heard so much about Taylor Swift and the impact she's made on different cities as far as the economy is concerned. I know a city that's sitting on a few $100 million. Would you not make a phone call and say, hey, for an extra, we'd like to pay you $3-4 million more just to come to St. Louis? Isn't that a worthy investment?
Do you know what? Actually, it's funny that you bring that up. Do you know who did that with the Beatles? Kansas City. We were just talking about this a week ago. The owner of the Royals, Kansas City, was not on the Beatles tour stop, and the owner of the Royals gave them a ton of money at the time. Like at the time, I think it was $160,000, but something like that. At the time, it was a huge check, and the Beatles went to play at Kansas City. That's something like that. The city could do that with Taylor Swift.
That's a layup. Isn't that a layup?
Would think so.
It's not like you don't have the money. It's sitting in an account. You peel out $3, $4, $5 million and you'll get, 10 times that much coming back. I mean, it's already been proven. that what this concert tour has done to different cities. And we're sitting here, I don't know why somebody hadn't thought about it before. Now I was thinking about it last week, but I haven't heard one word. And I've been on the road. I don't know if somebody's working behind the scenes, but you have to be able to make that phone call.
I don't even know why. I haven't seen an explanation. Admittedly, I haven't looked into it. Why she chose to skip over St. Louis in the first place, or why it wasn't.
Well, maybe
on
it's
the
the
docket.
entertainment tax. The entertainment tax here is a pretty hefty one.
But it has to be in a lot of
St.
places.
Louis, yeah, but St. Louis is not an attractive city anymore. I'm in Kansas City right now, and once again, Kansas City is the number one city in our state. Okay. We may live in St. Louis, but Kansas City is ruling the roost as far as I'm concerned with the infrastructure, the things that are going on downtown. I'm sure they have some of the same problems we have in St. Louis, but you can't tell from where I sit that it's as prevalent as it is in St. Louis. So, I think Kansas City is a little bit more attractive right now.
Yeah, that's
why
why
she
she
get back in the ball game.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, maybe that's a reason why they went to Kansas City instead of St. Louis.
Lest we get callers in, I guess in 1960 it was the Kansas City Athletics, not the Royals.
Yeah.
It was Charles Finley. He was the owner of the Kansas City Athletics.
He moved into Oakland.
Yeah, and he paid them he paid the Beatles $150,000 out of his own pocket. At the time, it was the highest price ever paid for a single performance of any band. And he rationalized the price and the concert with the slogan, "Today's Beatles fans are tomorrow's baseball fans." That's what he did.
But I wonder this, maybe Claibs, I know the Beatles played Busch Stadium in 1966.
Yeah, my dad was involved in that. He and some other guys had a group, and they had a friend in New York, and he said, "Hey, I got some dates. Would you be interested?" And they had it at Busch Stadium. It was a Sunday night. It was raining just a bit.
Yeah.
Had about 25,000 people there, and little did we know what that meant. And I'll tell you who you guys ought to have on. I think he'd be a great visit. It's Steve Shankman.
Oh, we've had Steve on a few times.
Steve
He's great.
is like he's the historian about all the events like that have come through St. Louis. But I would even ask him, why isn't somebody on the phone? Make them say no. I think you have to make them say no.
Yeah, I would hope something like that happens. I don't know if it's been explored. I don't know.
Well, you guys, I know Beyonce is coming up. Is it Monday? So I'm wondering what it's like downtown as far as hotels and things of that nature, because apparently her tour is booming as well.
Yeah, I don't know as far as, I don't really see a lot of activity. I don't know as far as the hotel sales. I would imagine some. It's interesting because usually a artist's U.S. tour is bigger than their European tour. And so Taylor Swift opened in the U.S. and after she completes this tour, she'll go to Europe. Beyonce opened her tour in Europe and is coming now to the U.S. So it'll be interesting to see the draw that Beyonce is able to bring in. Because I know Taylor's in almost they're projecting she might hit $1 billion. No,
I think it's $1.5 billion. I think her and Beyonce, between the two of them, they're going to do, I was told the other day, somewhere in the vicinity of $3.5 billion.
My gosh.
To $4 billion between the two of them in concert tour revenue, ticket sales. So think about the percentage of those cities and the money that they're making as well. I saw the Beyonce concert in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and it's a lot. For those who diehard fans, they truly get their money's worth if there is such a thing. But I just think that if you're a city like St. Louis and you're not on the list, you buy your way in.
Yeah, they might have to. Maybe it works. I would imagine somebody has tried, but maybe not. Maybe nobody's even thought of it. I would think that's a real failure on their part if they didn't do it. But yeah.
Well, hey, give Steve a call and get his thoughts on it.
Yeah, we'll talk to Steve Shankman, and maybe we'll talk to Steve Moore. Maybe he can get her here.
Well, he's got a lot of juice from what I'm told.
He does. He's got a lot of it and multiple boats.
Oh man, I think he's got.
Oh,
5.
really? He's got a Navy
it's
now.
Not
huh?
5
or 6.
No, it's like
you got to
3.
be kidding.
No. It's no more than 2
or 3.
Maybe 3.
He has an armada.
He does have an armada.
You're right, and if it weren't a lake, he could probably go somewhere with it. But
he should
stuck.
stay close to the lake. I don't think the high seas would be for him.
No.
A little too wavy.
Yeah.
So, man, those seas are super wavy.
They really are. Seasick?
A little choppy.
A little choppy. Oh, do you
ever
get
been
seasick?
No, I've never.
Once.
I've never been.
I've been seasick once.
Oof.
Oh.
Yeah, never made that mistake again.
I think I was too young. The one time I went deep sea fishing with my dad, and it was on a boat that I think was way too small to be out in the ocean. I feel like it was a Lake of the Ozarks boat, but it was in the ocean, and the nose of the boat is just pitching straight down and then straight up. There were like 3 other people who were getting sick over the side of the boat, and I think the only reason I didn't is because I was too young and dumb to know you should be sick right now.
Yeah.
Because now I think I would die. I really do.
Oh, there's no question you would.
It's not that bad. You get over it.
Claves, appreciate it. Enjoy Kansas City. Adam Wainwright looking for win number 199 against the Kansas City Royals. He will pitch tonight. Appreciate
Royals
it.
are playing better, so we'll see how this thing shakes out.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
You're the best.
Gang, have a great week. Let's get on this concert thing.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, we're going to work on it.
All
'Cause
right. Have a good week.
Thank you. That'd be great. I want to see Taylor Swift.
I would rather see Beyonce.
I'd like
you
seeing
can go to
both.
both. I'm not saying you can't, but if I had to go left, for Taylor, right for Beyonce, I'm turning right 10 times out of 10.
7:10 first pitch tonight. 6:15 is the pregame show. Cardinals and Royals in Kansas City. Waino is pitching, and again, still sitting at win number 198. So he'll look for 199 tonight. It's Amy Marks, Coors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret. My unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 314-207-8600.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. And you can do this. Real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Results may vary. KMOX, Hot Shots, Together Credit Union, and Michelob Ultra have teamed up to bring you another St. Louis City Caravan. It all happens Thursday, August 17th at 6 p.m. at Hot Shot Sports Bar in Royal and Fenton. Come on out and meet City striker Nico Giacchini.
Oh, looking on for Giacchini. Tip of the order. Giacchini! He scores!
The City Caravan, Thursday, August 17th at Hot Shots in Fenton. Sitting on tap, presented by Michelob Ultra and America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
I would think that being a paying customer, that the insurance company would want to take care of me. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
Their first response is, I'm sorry, we can't cover that.
The other person's insurance company started looking into mine and my husband's assets. It scared us, and we needed protection.
I really didn't know what I could do. But what I did hear was a lot of good things about this company, Morgan & Morgan.
I do liken it to picking the biggest dog in the yard.
It's easy to call Morgan & Morgan, and they know how to deal with insurance companies.
Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. With over 2 million phone calls last year alone, more people in more cities across America want more Morgan & Morgan. When you hire Morgan & Morgan, you're also hiring a family business. And after 35 years, we now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey
Picture yourself cruising along the shoreline, feeling the breeze in your hair and enjoying the sun-kissed waves aboard a Godfrey Tri-Toon from Iguana Marine Group, Missouri and Oklahoma's largest Godfrey dealer.
Hey, it's Joel Rauch, owner of Iguana Marine Group. For a limited time, save up to $45,000 on select models in stock. Experience the ultimate adventure with Godfrey Tri-Toons and unparalleled service and selection with Iguana Marine Group.
Go to iguanamarinegroup.com or any of their 4 convenient locations. Iguana Marine Group, where memories on the water are made. Rate and prep additions and savings based on MSRP.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, so why don't we do something about it? With Neoviten Men's 50 Plus, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Formulated for men over 50, Neoviten Men's 50 Plus gives you B vitamins to support energy and our proprietary physician-formulated blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Do something about your health today with Neoviten Men's 50 Plus. Available at your local Schnucks and Deerbergs.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Hi, it's Debbie Monterey, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra. You can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
You know the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
More Amy, more Chris. What is this weird show? It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
You know whose career I wish was cut short? Yours.
What the hell, man? Then you'd be. Do you know who you would be hosting with if it weren't me?
Kevin Wheeler.
Yeah, it'd be Kevin Wheeler, maybe, or some scumbag
Cornbread.
Who you don't like.
Cornbread and Amy in the morning.
Cornbread. That's a country guy.
I think there were 2 cornbreads.
There's more than one cornbread.
In St. Louis.
Is he from St. Louis? You're gonna have to forgive me. There's like whole.
I don't know. All I know is Charlie. For a long time, when Charlie retired, we said that Cornbread would be replacing him, and a lot of people believed it.
Okay.
But we didn't know how many cornbreads there were. And I
So
think there were 2.
It's a country guy.
I think there was a classic rock cornbread.
There's a classic rock cornbread
in St. Louis. I mean, they're both retired. I think. All I know is there were 2 guys who identified as cornbread in the
How
St.
can
Louis
you do
area.
that? You can't just decide your cornbread if there's another cornbread.
What are you looking for?
I think I dropped my pen. Oh, there it is. Found it.
This guy.
Yeah, you can't just be like, well, my name is, I'm George Clooney now.
Well, Detroit
you can't be
Rachel,
George Clooney.
Yesterday, I don't know if you heard this, but Rachel's now Detroit Rachel. She decided.
Why?
Because if you can pick any nomenclature and it doesn't, you don't have to back it up. So she said, I'm
Interesting.
Detroit Rachel.
Well, it's Chris and Amy. Final hour of the show next on KMOX.
Mizzou football is returning to St. Louis. Be there when the Tigers take on Memphis in the Mizzou to the Lou Classic this September at the Dome, featuring pep rallies, tailgates, and fan activities. It's more than just a game in St. Louis. Show your Tiger pride and purchase your tickets today. The Mizzou to the Lou Classic, Saturday, September 23rd at the Dome at America's Center. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Here's something you won't hear from any other jeweler. Right now, when you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct, we'll give you a free gold setting for it. Yes, a 14-karat classic solitaire setting in white gold or yellow gold at no charge with any natural diamond purchase. So all your money can go toward a bigger diamond while you still get the classic look she wants in that engagement ring. Another example of Diamonds Direct's extraordinary value. Or if you want to take it up to the next level, Diamonds Direct also has a fantastic selection of halo, pave, vintage, 3-stone, and other popular mountings. Or maybe she wants a designer ring, like the one she's seen on social media. Well, Diamonds Direct has those too. In fact, we are an authorized retailer for all the top designers from New York and California. Whichever setting you choose, you'll also be able to choose your finance plan. Diamonds Direct now has a wide range of finance options with attractive rates and terms up to 60 months, so you can get the ideal setting to fit your style with the ideal payment to fit your budget. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. Have questions after being injured in an accident? We'll match you with the Onder Law team that's right for you and your case.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
KMOX, KECK, HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
I had heard about 3-day kitchen and bath. I kind of always dismissed it thinking, well, nobody can do that in 3 days. I wanted somebody who was going to come when they said they would come and, do what they said they were going to do. What I liked best was having it done in, less than a week, the whole thing from top to bottom. Nobody could believe that I really had it done that fast. They absolutely held up to every single thing that they agreed to. I especially loved the fact that I didn't have to go out all over town. The overall quality was very good. All the workmanship was so excellent. They'll definitely do exactly what they say they're going to do. There's no surprises, no added costs later. They stay until everything's exactly the way you want it, and you're done.
Thanks, Lori. Check us out online at 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
When you withdraw money from your IRA in retirement, you could trigger an avalanche of taxes. Learn how you could avoid this with your retirement professors. Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 noon, we've got sun. It's 87 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report, an unexpected announcement from Attorney General Merrick Garland, who's just named Delaware's U.S. Attorney David Weiss as special counsel to oversee the Hunter Biden investigation.
I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint him as special counsel.
Weiss has already been leading the tax and weapons probe into the president's son, which began in 2019.
As special counsel, he will continue to have the authority and responsibility that he has previously exercised to oversee the investigation and decide where, when, and whether to file charges.
The government has just filed a motion to invalidate Hunter Biden's plea agreement, which blew up in court last week. Also today, the judge overseeing former President Trump's conspiracy case agreed to a looser version of a prosecution request for a protective order preventing Mr. Trump from speaking publicly about evidence in the case deemed sensitive. CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
The Illinois Supreme Court rules the assault weapons ban constitutional.
A lower court ruling in March found the Protect Illinois Communities Act violated the Constitution. But in a 4-3 decision, the High Court found the law does not violate the federal Constitution's guarantee of equal protection of the law, nor the state Constitution's bar on special legislation. Governor J.B. Pritzker is pleased, saying this decision is a win for advocates, survivors, and families alike because it preserves this nation-leading legislation to combat gun violence and save countless lives. Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
The death toll from the wildfires in Maui has risen to 55. Many more are missing. The damage caused by the fires has left thousands homeless. Some residents are being allowed to go check on their homes. Eleanor Worth owns the Kula Sandalwoods Cafe and Inn.
So many things could have gone wrong, but for us, we lost a house, but our business is still here.
The KMOX Business Desk. Prescriptions keep getting more expensive.
Major brand name drugs covered by Medicare have tripled in costs and exceeded inflation since they came onto the market.
AARP says the top 25 drugs have increased an average of 226% over their lifetimes. Insulin product Lantus saw the largest increase. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Dow from Stifel's up 61 points to 35,237. On the road, some emergency vehicles on 270 South going to 70 West. The right lane is closed there. We've also got the 270 West exit ramp from Lindbergh. That's closed because of emergency vehicles. 270 West from Lindbergh. The ramp from Lindbergh to 270 West closed. A stalled vehicle on 270 North on the ramp from Gravois going west. 270 North on the ramp from Gravois going west. The right lane is closed there.
It's going to be hot and humid this afternoon, up to 95 in the sun with real feels around 100 or so, even with a bit of a breeze. Thunderstorms tonight into early tomorrow morning, strong to severe potential. Heating up in the low 90s, real feels near 100 or better tomorrow, then not as hot, mid-80s on Sunday with a thunderstorm or two. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got sun at the moment. It's 87 in Florissant, 87 St. Peter's, and 87 degrees downtown at the Arch, where it feels like 93. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show.
Sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info@cardinals.com. Time to rewind. It's the Chris and Amy Rewind Recap.
Now, I've got a lot going on today. There always is. Do we ever have a day where there's nothing happening? It feels like there's a lot happening all the time. We talked to Hancock and Kelly today. We had them in because it's Friday. They're always here on Friday until 10:45 about. And we discussed the situation with Clarence Thomas and receiving the gifts and not disclosing the gifts. He's friends with billionaires who take him on lavish trips and skybox tickets for football games and all kinds of stuff, right? Over 38 trips and trips on planes, private jets, all kinds of stuff.
There's got to be a happy medium, because I would also be surprised if Clarence Thomas flew Southwest and bought nosebleed tickets.
Well, whatever he does, he could pay for him himself, because he is a well-compensated Supreme Court justice. And I was the only person in the room. You guys vehemently disagreed with me.
Okay.
That I think if you are a justice in the Supreme Court, or if you are a member of Congress, you should be able to receive no gifts more than $10.
Yeah. So
if someone wants to buy you coffee or a cheeseburger, fine. That's it.
You said a donut, though. You said a Supreme Court justice should not even be able to get a donut.
But then I conceded, I'll give you $10. That's it.
And I agree with you that Supreme Court justices should not be feted with lavish gifts. However, I would make the number higher than $10, because then you are going to bog down the entire system with a litany of tedious tasks, like itemizing a bottle of water. If this was Michael Kelly's example, if Cori Bush spoke at a school and went up to the school, a grade school, and gave a talk, and they handed her a bottle of water, that she should not be able to accept it. You said, and I quote, "Bring your own water."
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Why is that ridiculous?
It's so tedious as to be excessively punitive.
You bring your own food to work. You bring your own water here. You bring a water bottle. You bring your own coffee.
We're not relitigating this argument because
no,
it's
we
ridiculous.
Are. It isn't.
You could say make it $1,000.
No, I'll
make
tell you
it
what I'll do.
$500. That then you have to itemize it. But get serious. Just
I am.
not allow a congresswoman to have a bottle of water.
She can bring it. I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do for you. Okay. I'm willing to concede I've already made one concession. I'll make one more. If you want to be in Congress or a SCOTUS justice, okay, you can receive gifts as long as the gift can be paid for with a single bill. So $100. That's it. $100. That's my limit. But whatever you get from anybody can't be paid for by anything more than a single bill.
All right. I feel
if a single bill can't cover it, forget it.
Like
Get
you're
your own.
being excessively punitive.
I'm not.
However,
I'm not.
what if
You know
someone
why?
hops in a car and the amount of gas that's used in that ride is
That's not a
more
gift.
than $10. It is. If it is accepting
In a car?
Yes. If Clarence Thomas were to hop in a car, you say, I'll give you a ride down this mile road of New York City traffic, and traffic is bad.
Yeah.
Also, gas prices are elevated. So he takes that ride, and on Thursday, say the price isn't $10 worth of gas, but on Saturday it is because gas prices have gone up.
Do you know
That
how far
would
you have
make
to
him
drive?
liable.
Do you know how far you have to drive to spend $100 worth of gas?
You said 10.
Well, no, I said a single bill. So I
Okay.
said
So
I'm
we're
giving you
making
$100.
progress. At any rate, we both
100
agree
bucks.
that there needs to be a revision or a revisiting of ethics rules, but I don't think they should be overly punitive. I think they should take into account the lifestyles of Supreme Court justices and the fact that they are inevitably incredibly connected and have been since well before they were Supreme Court justices, when they were probably in high school, but most likely in college, because so many of them went to Ivy League schools, that $100 gift, I'm okay with. Write it down. Make sure you disclose it.
No, it's one single $100 gift for the entire year.
Okay.
That's it.
We're moving on.
No more than no. See, here's what's going on here. Here's what's going on here. These people are taking advantage of us. They are getting all these great benefits from all these wealthy people, whether you're in Congress or you're a justice, and you then affect our lives. Your job is to work for me. And if I say you can't get a gift, then you can't have a gift. And if you don't like that, then you can decline that terrific salary you get as a justice and go do something
Are you saying
else.
don't receive it at all and disclose what you get, or are you saying as long as you disclose it?
Well, if we have a limit, what I wanted to start with 0 gifts altogether. That means no coffee, no bottled water, no nothing. And if you don't like it, don't do the job. Go do something else.
Okay.
Because you have decided to go into public service. I'm working for you. Yeah. So we're not going to move this on just because you don't want to talk about it.
I just feel like
It isn't stupid.
don't
And I'm
think we're
telling you it's
moving
not stupid
forward
because
anymore.
these people
I agree with
affect
you.
our
I'm
lives.
talking about, especially with the cost of living and the cost of just going to dinner with a family is going to cost you over $100. So what I'm saying
Pay
is
for it.
we agree.
That's why you get the salary.
We agree on the principle. We're arguing over the maximum, and I think we have beat this horse until it's dead.
Good. Then I hope it dies, and I hope everybody.
Well, no, I mean, the conversation is the
No.
horse.
Well, no. Because just because you don't agree with what I'm saying, and you think they should get whatever they want. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let these people let Clarence Thomas go ahead and have all the trips he wants
Is that
with all
what I
the
said?
billionaire people that he wants to be
Wow.
friends with, and they can pay for all these trips. Go ahead. I'm saying you get 0 of that. And the reason
314-436-7900. Especially if you want to say, hey, that's not what Amy said. Amy said put a cap on it.
Yeah, no cap. Here's the cap. 0. I am taking it away. I'm taking it away. We don't have to go anywhere. We have all the time we want, Amy. We don't have anything coming up.
I'm getting bored. I know. I mean,
Because your point is so stupid. That's why you're getting bored.
I accept your point, which I think is stupid. You
It
accept
isn't.
my point,
These
which
people
I think
should
is
get
stupid.
nothing and like it because they're getting. It's not like they're making $35,000. They're making $35,000 and then they get no gifts. Okay, then I can understand. They're making well into 6 figures to do these jobs. They deserve nothing from anybody else except the salaries they make. And I'm right. Moving on. So we talked about that. We also talked about we had a draft. We had a draft today. Amy, are you going to participate? Or are you
Yeah,
going to
I'm
act like a dumb
participating.
idiot over there?
I'm participating. I thought the draft was great.
All right, why don't you explain the draft then?
We drafted people whose careers ended too quickly, whether from death or injury or whatever else you can come up with. You can vote on Twitter or X at ChrisAmyKMOX. Really, really good lists. I think both are incredibly valid. Here's mine. JFK Jr., I think he would be president. Tupac, Steve Prefontaine, James Dean, Amy Winehouse, and Heath Ledger. Yours? Go ahead and read yours.
I don't have the list in front of me. Oh, Brandon Lee, Bo Jackson, Notorious B.I.G., Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and I went with Paul Walker, even though I really don't care about Paul Walker.
Well, you can care about him.
Yeah, I don't care.
Why'd you pick him?
Because I thought it was funny.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Why would it be funny? He died.
I don't know. Like, why? Okay, it's sad that he died, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't like he was a particularly good actor.
Well, I mean, I don't really watch The Fast and the Furious.
They weren't any good. But he was, I'll tell you what, he was in the football movie Varsity Blues,
Okay.
which is great.
Yeah.
You should watch Varsity Blues.
I've not
Actually, you
seen it.
shouldn't. You wouldn't like it.
We also, Merrick Garland made an announcement.
Oh, yeah,
today.
Merrick Gardman. Gardman. Who the hell is Merrick
Merrick
Gardman?
Garland
Yeah.
made an announcement today that he is appointing as special counsel David Weiss. I almost went to Jack Smith. David Weiss to continue the investigation into Hunter Biden and his dealings.
Yeah.
Which someone pointed out, well, I guess the fact that David Weiss is now the special counsel means the investigation is not closed. That's right. It is not closed. And so that will continue looking at the dealings, the wheelings and dealings, some would say,
Yeah.
of Hunter Biden.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes of it, but they are investigating it. And whatever they find out, if he has committed a crime or multiple crimes, guess what? He should be punished for them.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody is going to disagree with that.
It's interesting. It's interesting how we don't know what Joe Biden knew, right? And if there was concrete evidence against Joe Biden, definitely the House Republicans would find it and would expose it. What's interesting is that the Biden line has changed from, oh no, I had no idea he was making these phone calls, until, oh, well, I knew he was making the phone calls while I was in the room, to, yes, I did say hi, but we didn't talk about anything serious. We just talked about the weather. Let's say that's the truth.
Mhm.
Let's say Joe Biden really did only say hi. It would have been better if he had given the truth up front instead of saying, oh, I didn't even know he was on the phone. Because now he's obviously tried to mislead the public. And again, I can't stress enough how once you lie or are careless with the truth, it gives psychological permission to those who want to doubt you anyway to say, see, you've confirmed my worst suspicions about you and about your character. You're lying. I can't trust anything you say. I do wonder why public officials don't get that more clearly than they do, or try to live by that, because Biden's not telling the truth when he said that he didn't even know Hunter was on the phone. Now he's saying, well, we only talked about the weather and said hi. Well, if that's the truth, fine. But you haven't given us a reason to believe you. Now, we don't have evidence against anything else.
Right.
But it just makes the whole situation seem shady.
Well, sure. I mean, that's the point, though, is that we can't just start doing things because we think or we're pretty sure that something happened. You have to have evidence for it. Sorry. Got to have evidence. That's how things work. What they're doing with Trump, they have evidence and they're going after him. Will they win in court? I don't know. Probably not, but I don't know how. It's just a weird environment. So I have no idea what's going to happen there, but you can't pursue stuff unless you have evidence of it. You can't go after things just because you're pretty sure you probably think you know. That's not good enough, and that's not how things work.
Hey, you sent me a video yesterday that I had not seen. I know we're going to talk about it next. It's what happened after the Cardinals game on Sunday. We talk about people on the streets and how feet on the streets is just safer. It helps keep your city safer. And that's true. But this video is absolutely shocking. A road rage incident with a pedestrian getting run over while there were plenty of Cardinals fans walking back to their cars.
Yep. Thing that happened downtown.
Ugh.
A lot of fun. All right.
about that.
314-436-7900. Some folks are on hold now. We'll get to your calls when we come back on KMOX.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 1120 AM further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you're injured and in your darkest hour, Onder Law is not only on your side, we're by your side.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing together millions of things for our planet. Some summer items should not be mixed in with your curbside recycling. Items like garden hoses, plastic planters, pool toys, squirt guns, and lawn chairs are generally not recyclable and are best donated to charity. If you have a question as to whether an item can be recycled, look at the recycling triangle and number, usually on the bottom of the product. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jules on Hampton.
St. Louis bi-state summers are hot, humid, and can be deadly. Heat can even fry an egg on a sidewalk. For many seniors and the disabled, income goes to rent, medicine, and groceries, often with nothing left to pay utility bills. Please help seniors keep the air on, and let's check on neighbors. CoolDownSt.Louis.org can also help Missouri and Illinois qualified neighbors with utility bills. Get help, give help at CoolDownSt.Louis.org.
So I have a new client to tell you guys about, Doctors Birdie and Malhotra from Ophthalmology Associates. You've heard about them for years. Charlie Brennan, Tom Ackerman, Trish Gazelle, so many personalities have gone to see these doctors. I recently went myself. I have a very slight prescription, but I have something called narrow angle glaucoma in my family, so I have to be really careful about that. I had the best exam I've ever had from the most courteous professional people I've ever dealt with. Put aside all the puffery, put aside all of my salesmanship. These are the best eye doctors in town. They're so professional, so competent. Their staff are so friendly. Everything about them, whether it's a LASIK procedure or it's simply eyeglasses or sunglasses, whatever it is, these are the guys. 314-966-5000. That's 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com for Doctors Birdie and Malhotra at Ophthalmology Associates.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. We are with you till 1 o'clock. Then the happy hour happens at 1. Dave Glover show comes in. We'll be here for that. Did you know, Amy? Well, we'll talk about this later.
Okay.
I was about to tease something, but I want to get to a phone call.
Okay.
We're visiting with, let's see, our call screener's kind of messed up today. So this is John, and John is with us from St. Louis City. Hello, John. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chris. I was listening to your program, and I was thinking that people in position, when they get into these positions, are approached by so many different people with these gifts. And I think the main problem is the people who receive these gifts not reporting them. In the case of Clarence Thomas, not reporting all the gifts. In the case of Hunter Biden, not bringing out an open of the alleged money that he's received. I think the main problem is they're not reporting it. But when you get in those kind of positions, everybody comes after you because you have that influence. And I think they're trying to buy into that influence, so they come up with the gifts. And I think the main problem is people receiving these gifts not reporting them. What's your opinion on that?
So you would be okay with if, let's say, the gift weren't something like $100. Let's say it were a lavish trip. As long as he reported that, would you be okay with the Supreme Court justice receiving that trip?
I would.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
thank you.
he has he has an option of refusing it or receiving it. But
Mhm.
I think the main object is to report it and as receiving it.
I think I think to your point, I agree with
Thank you, John.
if we had to if we could take an immediate step, let's say we can't get rid of all gifts, even down to $100, right now. What we can do is say what the law already kind of says, which is you have to report it. That would be step one as you work on eliminating other gifts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be the most immediate step is right now you have to report everything.
Yeah. So that's what he's saying. And that's fair. My take on it is a lot more extreme. And the reason I don't want any gifts at all is just because you report it, that does not mean that the influence hasn't already happened. So, I take this trip or whatever it is, I get this gift from this billionaire who owns this company or has stake in a company and therefore has stake in a trial that's upcoming. The gift has already happened. So even if I say, yeah, I did this, that doesn't mean I'm free of being influenced by the gift.
Okay.
Just because I report it.
Here's a question, and I'm not being facetious. Would they be allowed to receive gifts from family members or only immediate family members or no family members? Because Ginny Thomas is his wife. You get gifts from your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you could say if they have the same bank account, it doesn't count as a gift, right? I don't know. But she's politically active.
Yeah.
Would you allow a child or a spouse to give a gift?
Well, technically, if you're involved in a case that is associated with a close family member, you're supposed to recuse yourself anyway from that case, right?
But I thought this wasn't about cases. This is even about political influence.
Well, it is. And I don't know exactly how you parse that out, but it's a problem. It's absolutely a problem that just because two people live together doesn't necessarily mean they have the same political ideologies, right?
Right. But that's why this would have to be spelled out in the ethics law.
Yeah.
Because what if you have Hunter Biden doesn't live with Joe Biden, but let's say it was a situation like that.
Sure.
Where Clarence Thomas has a Hunter Biden who's his son.
Right.
It's not uncommon for sons to give dad gifts, but would that be an issue?
No, that's something we have to figure out. It is. But I just to take gifts directly from people outside the family, who will end up having something that is tried in front of you, and you get to have some say on that case and maybe the deciding vote on that case. That's a problem. And I think we should all feel that way. And there are some people who agree with you, Amy, who think that my idea here is ridiculous. And
not the idea, just the detail to no gifts at all, like $0. I think the idea is spot on. I am not for lavish gifts, right? I would say put a cap on, a $500, I don't know, $1,000 gift.
Fine. I'm fine with that too. If we want to do, I was going an extreme level, and I will back off that, and I'll say fine, $100, $100. I just, there should be, because what you're basically saying is, if you have a ton of money, you get to have influence over me, but all I have to do is report it, right? So if it's like, hey, it's just $100. I can't give you a gift of more than $100 over the course of, I don't know, a year or something, right? What does that really do? How much influence does that buy me?
Right. So is there nothing to report then? If it's a blanket prohibition on any gifts over $100, then do you not have to report anything?
Maybe you have to report if somebody tried to give you something. Isn't that the case in some regards where if you are approached, I don't know exactly, but if you are approached about something, don't you have to say, hey, like, I don't know. This person came to me and said, hey, they tried to give me $500 to do this. I just want to let you know that happened. Maybe that's more true in criminal cases, but I don't think I don't know how you police that. But if you're approached, that's one thing.
I would say nothing that comes out of this. There will be no ethics law that's extreme, because that would only turn the microscope that much more on Congress. They don't really want a microscope turned on them. So Congress, if they legislated this, if that's how ethics law was created, I feel like it's going to be generous. because of
Oh,
who's,
of course it is.
who's writing it.
Right. These rules are when I become emperor. When I am the emperor and I implement these rules, you have to live under that system or you go do something else. That's my deal, man.
Chris Durangi.
You damn right. All right. We're hoping to hear from Red Cross of St. Louis. We're going to talk to them because they are sending help to Hawaii after the wildfires have devastated parts of that state. So we are going to talk with Red Cross St. Louis next on KMOX.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret. My unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd love to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 314-207-8600.
This is Debbie Monterey, and I can tell you, thanks to St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, it feels great. I lost 20 pounds in the first 30 days, and I've lost more than 30 pounds in 60 days. And you can do this. Real food that helps to speed up your metabolism. It is amazing to watch the pounds fall off.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 314-207-8600. That's 314-207-8600 or online at moweightloss.com.
Results may vary. Hi, it's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000, 12990 Manchester Road, just a half mile west of 270. I was there this year for my annual eye health examination, and I'm so happy that I did. Not only is my vision in good shape, but now I have peace of mind that I have good health. You see, an eye health examination can detect many health issues like diabetes or high blood pressure. So it's nice to know that they were able to check me over. Also, it was covered by my medical insurance, and I did not realize that the first time that I went for an annual eye exam. So that's terrific. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer, very thankful for them. Ophthalmology Associates, the doctors, 314-966-5000. You should also schedule your eye exam and reach out to them. And when you do, tell them that Tom Ackerman sent you to Ophthalmology Associates. Also online at youridoc.com.
Hello, I am Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik. How would you like a tax break and help kids? You can with the Most Scholars program. When you make a donation to Most Scholars to provide scholarships, you can cut up to half of your state income taxes. The Most Scholars tax credit is available for individuals and businesses. Learn more by going to mostscholars.com, or you may call 573-751-8533.
Sponsored by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office.
At 12:30, it's sunny and 88 degrees downtown at the Arch. Attorney General Merrick Garland has appointed David Weiss as a special counsel in the Hunter Biden investigation.
Today's announcement affords the prosecutors, agents, and analysts working on this matter the ability to proceed with their work expeditiously and to make decisions indisputably guided only by the facts and the law.
Weiss says plea deal talks have broken down in Biden's tax and gun case. Republicans have derided the plea agreement as a sweetheart deal as they pushed their own probe. The federal judge overseeing the election conspiracy case against Donald Trump agreed with the defense on a looser version of a protective order for evidence in the case. However, the district judge largely sided with the prosecution on what sensitive materials should be protected as she vowed to keep politics out of her rulings. CBS News legal analyst Jessica Levinson sees it as a compromise.
It's about the scope of the protective order. And I think if you really follow along with what's happening in the hearing, what the judge is saying here is, I understand the need for a protective order. That is typical in cases like this. But government, I think you just went a little too broad.
This Cardinals Report is sponsored by Aloha Pools USA. Swim next summer. AlohaPoolsUSA.com. The Cardinals open a 2-game series at Kansas City tonight. Adam Wainwright is on the mound in search of career win number 199. Waino is 7-4 with a 3.7 ERA in 17 games and 14 career starts against the Royals. First pitch is 7:10 tonight. Pregame at 6:20. I'm Joe Pott, KMOX Sports.
We've got a stalled vehicle 70 going west before 79 in the center lane. We've also got a stalled vehicle on 270 north on the ramp from Gravois west. That's got the right lane closed. And the forecast this afternoon, sunny, hot, humid, bit of a breeze with a high of 95. Real field temperatures near 100. Thunderstorms tonight could be severe with a low 70 to 75. For tomorrow, hot, humid, high 90 to 95 with real feels reaching 100 or more. At the moment, we've got sun 88 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Lombardo Homes is excited to introduce new floor plans to Sutton Farms in Wentzville. The Parkside series of homes offers ranch and two-story plans starting from the mid-300s. Select from hundreds of pre-designed options to personalize your home, or choose full customization if there is something specific you're dreaming about. Loved for its spacious home sites, Sutton Farms offers a private rural setting with the added bonus of nearby shopping and dining on Wentzville Parkway. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
You know the Midwest Money slogan, isn't cash in the bank better than scrap in the drawer? This is Johnny Rabbit to tell you that's for sure. That's Midwest Money, the oldest coin shop in St. Louis. Buying, selling, and trading since 1971. Silver and gold, coins, sterling silver, antique firearms, military relics, uniforms, flags, medals, daggers, and more. Not sure what you have? Bring it to Midwest Money at 5900 Hampton in South St. Louis to find out. Plus, Midwest Money is home of the largest model train layout in St. Louis. And the first Sunday of every month, bring your family to see this great model railroad exhibit, and it's free. My advice to you is to bring your collectibles to someone you can trust. Midwest Money at the corner of Hampton and Holly Hills. So come on in. They'd like to meet you at Midwest Money. You'll be happy you did.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show on Cardinals Radio, KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. We were talking about gifts that Supreme Court justices, people in Congress receive or might receive. And if you have thoughts on that and what we were talking about, and you tried to get through, we were having some trouble with the call screener. But if you are trying to get through now, 314-436-7900. We'll get to you momentarily. But we first want to check in with the Red Cross, Missouri, and Arkansas. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. Sharon Watson is the Regional Communications Director for Red Cross, Missouri. And the reason we're talking to Sharon today, I'm sure you have heard of the devastation that's happened in Hawaii because of the wildfires. And there have been businesses and homes and destroyed and people killed. And it's been a really horrible situation. Well, the Red Cross here is going to be helping out a bit. And Sharon is with us now on KMOX. How you doing, Sharon? Thank you for being with us.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what sort of assistance will this particular branch of the Red Cross be providing to Hawaii?
We are available to send people and are actually already sending individuals out of the state of Missouri. We had an individual from Springfield leaving this morning on a flight, and one from St. Louis who's actually with our national team who's already on the ground in Hawaii. And we have a lot more responders across the state of Missouri and Arkansas who've raised their hands to go and across the country. And so right now it's just a matter of getting people on the ground to support the shelters that are open there, and also to begin to expand the work that we will be doing in the days ahead as conditions improve and as we're able to get into the area to start doing some damage assessments and really see the extent of the damage, and then start making sure that people there are getting the assistance they need to get back on their feet.
When the Red Cross does their damage assessment, are you guys taking all of those numbers, those pictures, whatever it is that you may have, putting it into your own organization, and then also sharing it with FEMA or other branches of the government or insurance companies? What do you do with that information?
Yes, we use it primarily for our own purposes, but we certainly are willing to share that with state officials and FEMA officials. They also do their own assessments as well, but it's coordination between those entities for certain. And one of the things that we do with those is to look to see, just the extent of the damage and how many people are going to need help in the future, how many people's homes are just completely damaged to the point they can't return or destroyed, where they need more assistance than others who may have a less amount of damage. So that's part of the process of just trying to figure out how many people need assistance and then what level of assistance they need going forward. And of course, what kind of help that they're going to need, in terms of recovery in the months ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to ask that. You mentioned the future, how much help they'll need. How long will Missouri and Arkansas Red Cross troops stay in Maui?
We go in, anyone who deploys from this area or any area of the country down there to Hawaii will go for 3 weeks. And then, when they come home, we may be sending more people in behind them to fill their spot for another 3 weeks. And then it will really just depend on how long the operations are needed. We have situations where, we send people into wildfire areas and hurricanes for weeks and weeks, just because many of these operations do take a long time. And especially, it also depends on the housing situation and how long the sheltering needs are there, but also how long the damage assessments take as well. And then we work with the local agencies to set up resource centers so that people can come in and get help from not just Red Cross, but all of our other partners, as well as state and federal agencies. So there's a lot of coordination coming in the weeks ahead.
When something like this happens, a natural disaster like this or something else, and the Red Cross is responding to it, do you already have, even though you're a local branch here, I mean, you're overseeing Missouri and Arkansas, when something happens somewhere else, how quickly do you go on alert and get ready just in case you're needed in another part of the country?
We start watching as soon as we hear something is coming, if it's a hurricane or we know that something hit, we immediately start watching our computer systems for the information from the local Red Cross, wherever that is, in this case, Hawaii, to let us know that they are wanting to bring people in. So they always try to bring people in, of course, locally to support quickly, and then, of course, bring in people closer. But in this case, because of the size of this disaster, they've literally opened it up to the entire country to start sending people across the U.S. who's available and, who can get there and start this 3-week deployment, because it is a longer deployment than normal. We normally ask people to come for 2 weeks. We know it may be sometimes harder to get people to stay that long. And so that's the process, is basically as soon as they tell us, we have people who are raising their hands. We have 100 people right now, and possibly more from since I last checked, who have raised their hands in Missouri and Arkansas and said, we're ready to go if you need us. And so it really depends, too, on what their skill sets are and what's needed there. So if they have sheltering skill sets, they'll definitely be needed quickly. If they have the disaster assessment skill sets, but there's a lot of things that people can do. Eventually, we'll get to the point where we'll be distributing emergency relief supplies, cleanup supplies, food in different areas. So we'll need people who are able to drive our disaster response vehicles, as well as deliver supplies, numerous things that people can do. So we encourage people, if you haven't signed up and you're interested in doing something like this in the future, to go to redcross.org and sign up to get trained as a volunteer.
And quick question about the shelters that you mentioned. Are these pre-existing Red Cross shelters, or are you going there and building temporary shelters?
We typically will have an agreement with organizations already in place, in advance. So, for example, here in St. Louis, we have agreements with churches and community centers and organizations throughout the region that are already agreeing to do a shelter for us in the case of an emergency. So it's just a matter of calling that location and saying, we need to open the doors. We'll have our people coming to help set up, and then it's able to be done very quickly. So we're not having to do any kind of building of anything.
Sharon Watson, we appreciate your time. And actually, before we go, you have not heard, aside from what we've already heard in reporting or seen in reporting from Hawaii, anything further from the people on the ground that you have there?
Not at this point. It's,
Okay.
Of course, a difference in time change of about 5 hours, so haven't had a chance to touch base with the individual who is there just yet.
Sure. Great. Well, thank you. Keep us posted. Best of luck to you, and thank you for giving us your time today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sharon Watson, Regional Comms Director for the Red Cross Missouri and Arkansas.
I believe she said redcross.org
Yep.
if you want any information on how to help or volunteer.
Just stories of people talking about having to make the decision. What do I do? And thankfully, they had a place to go. Some of them, a lot of people have died already, but just jumping into the ocean, like
Ugh.
what do I do?
I saw like over 55 people have died
55, yep, that's
in
right.
Maui. And the idea of running into
Entire
the ocean,
town destroyed.
yeah,
Just
to save yourself. It's really crazy to think, oh my gosh, this is happening in the US.
it's unbelievable. Especially there, it's supposed to be humid in Hawaii right now. Redcross.org if you want information and want to help out. Go to that website and you have an opportunity to do it. It's Chris and Amy. And again, we asked for your phone calls, 314-436-7900. This is the time for you to jump in with us here on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Maria Kina, inviting you to join us for our annual KMOX blood drive in memory of Brett Bloom. Brett fought cancer in 2019. We asked you then to donate blood, and the response, it was overwhelming. We lost Brett, but there are so many people today, right now, who need your help. The KMOX blood drive in memory of Brett Bloom, Thursday, August 24th from 2 to 7 p.m. Call 1-800-RED-CROSS or redcrossblood.org and use the sponsor code KMOX.
Medicare open enrollment is soon. Do you have questions? Let Missouri SHIP help navigate the many options available. SHIP counselors will help you find the right plan. No sales, only advice. Missouri SHIP, a service of the state of Missouri. Visit MissouriShip.org.
Hey, KMOX listeners, Roger Wigginton here, Don Rogers Limited, 6727 West Main in Belleville. Well, it's that time of year. We're swinging into August, getting towards the end of summer. We're going to start our anniversary/summer sale. 47 years in business, so we're taking 47% off our entire selection of men's summer shirts and all of our ladies' summer sportswear. That's all through the month of August. We still have a great selection of colors, sizes, styles. We have a lot of hot, humid weather ahead of us. A lot of these things you can wear literally year-round or wear all the way through fall. So you want to take advantage of our summer anniversary sale, 47% off the regular price. Don't forget, we're open Tuesday through Saturday, 9:30 to 4. As always, you're going to park at the door, walk in, get waited on. You're going to love what we have. Great time to fill out the rest of your summer wardrobe and get a great buy at the same time. As always, thank you so much for listening to our commercial.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW, a family-owned dealership group that has been around for 50 years as a Toyota dealer and 25 years in O'Fallon, Illinois. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Improve your gas mileage by properly inflating tires and taking your car in for a tune-up. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. No one should be injured or be the victim of assault when using a rideshare service. These companies need to be held accountable.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
It's wonderful. It's incredible.
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
I'm waiting for the record to play out. I said, I wonder if I put that to myself. I said, if they're waiting for this particular break and I have a couple more records got the same breakup in it, I wonder how would it be if I put them all together. And I told them, I said, I'm going to try something new tonight. I'm going to call it a merry-go-round.
Herc's merry-go-round meant that instead of playing whole records, he would play just the instrumental breaks, mixing between them to create a continuous dance rhythm.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on KMOX. That you heard talking, not the English narrator, but you heard DJ Kool Herc talking. Do you know what today is, Amy?
Today is the 50th anniversary of the birth of hip hop.
That's right, and they pinpoint an actual date. It is August 11th, 1973. There was a party in New York, and this DJ decided that when he was playing music in the parties.
Yeah.
That the breakdown in the song where the drums would happen, he would notice people would dance harder during those points. So he decided to just start basically looping them,
I mean, how
looping the
crazy
drum
is
part.
that?
And that's how hip hop and the drum
crazy is
part.
that?
And that's how hip hop was invented. Then, of course, the Sugar Hill Gang, credited with the first real rap song. Just, it's amazing. 50 years ago, man. 50 years ago today.
Well, and to hear him talk it out like that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
What a genius thing to do. And in that moment, to think that he invented an entire genre
Yeah.
that would revolutionize the music industry
It's
and
awesome.
culture. I mean, look how the impact hip hop has had on culture. I mean, you have a thought like that. How many times does it pan out to be a history changing idea?
Right. And it's not even just the it's not just the music itself. I mean, you're talking about fashion also
Right.
has really gone mainstream, right? I mean, a lot of the shoes and stuff, like some of the more popular Adidas and Nikes, Adidas historically, and they're kind of coming back, and Nikes, all from hip hop culture. It's awesome, man.
Did
Really,
you know
really cool stuff.
when I was 6, I took a hip hop class at the Chesterfield YMCA.
Hip hop dance.
Hip hop dance class.
Wow.
Yeah. We danced to Michael Jackson, Black or White.
Okay.
I felt
Hip hop.
so cool.
Real.
Hey, I didn't pick the song. It was our hip hop teacher
When
at the Chesterfield YMCA, the birthplace of
So,
hip hop.
you were 6?
Yeah, I was like 6, 8. Yeah, I was
So
young.
when this was the time they decided, oh, she can't do that. Dancing is not going to be for her.
Yeah, probably. But I felt cool. I felt super
You really
cool.
did. Here's what I'm going to say about hip hop generally. When people ask, what kind of music do you like?
Mhm.
I don't really have a number one. I guess it's probably
Yours is rock.
just historically rock.
'Cause
Yeah,
Muse.
and more alternative and
Yeah.
that kind of rock is probably my favorite. But I honestly think that even the worst, and this is my opinion, the worst hip hop to me is still kind of clever and more clever than the worst rock or the worst country or the worst anything else.
There's some bad hip hop though.
Yes, there is. But I'm saying if you take the very, very worst of the hip hop,
Uh-huh.
to me, it's still more listenable than the worst rock or the absolute worst country music or whatever.
That's interesting. I would have to put all the worsts together because the worst of every genre is pretty bad.
It's almost like Marvel movies to me.
Okay.
I think the worst Marvel movie is still pretty watchable. And I don't know which one that is.
I bet I have. There was some Christian hip hop in the 90s that was
Oh, man,
pretty
come
bad.
That's a complete, that's different. Christian music is just Christian music. I don't think that you can break it down.
Well, no, the best compliment you can give Christian music is that it doesn't sound Christian, which people get what I'm saying. Lecrae, I think it was Kevin Williamson for the Post-Dispatch said that the Lecrae concert wasn't the best Christian rap concert in St. Louis that year. It was the best rap concert. So Lecrae is awesome. Lauren Daigle is awesome. And then there are some that sound, a little bit cheesier, I guess. I'm not trying to be cruel because I listen to Christian music.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between some of the singers like Lecrae or Lauren Daigle who hold their own with the best in the non-Christian music world. But then there are others that are, a little kitschy.
I like Striper. Let's talk to Dawn in Wentzville. Dawn is with us on KMOX. Hello, Dawn.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. I just had a comment about the all the free gifts and that.
Yeah.
I work for a company who has a very strong compliance policy. If we get a gift for $50, up to $50, we have to report it, disclose it. If it's over 100, we have to claim it as income. So I think if any of these guys were receiving things over $100, which, you have all of those expensive trips and whatever else, if they have to pay taxes on all of that stuff, maybe that would curb it a little bit. But then again, they probably wouldn't report it either. But yeah, we have an extremely strong compliance policy. We have to complete a form every year stating whether we have any personal associations with anybody in government, if we deal with any personal suppliers if we have a relationship with them. So there is absolutely no inkling of any kind of impropriety.
Well, thank you, Dawn. And that is at minimum how it's supposed to work for the Supreme Court. I guess the reason I want to go scorched earth with it and completely extreme is that I don't think it matters if you get to report something or you have to report something. The gift is the gift, and the gift has already happened. And the gift itself is what buys influence. Doesn't matter if you report it. I mean, it's almost like, to me, and I don't know, I've never been on a jury. I guess I've never been on a jury, right? But I always found it amazing how you got this group of people and they're supposed to decide on a case, and something happens in court and the judge says, disregard all of that. You didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's
like,
impossible.
how do you then go to deliberate and not have that in your mind when you're making your ultimate decision? So even if you're a judge and you're like, yep, I got this free trip to, I don't know, Tulum. And do billionaires go to Tulum, or is that just for
millionaires?
Trendy people?
Oh.
Like trendy middle-class people.
I don't know. Do you ever eat fresh salads there? Because I've heard only really good things about the fruit of Tulum.
Oh, Amy, do you know what you do? You derail a conversation like nobody I know.
Sorry. It's Friday.
So I forgot what I was saying. No, but like, just because I have to report it, it's already happened. I've already gotten the gift. So how is that not in my mind whenever it's time for me to rule on a case that might help this billionaire's
It's still
company?
in your mind, but it also is in everyone else's mind, which means, oh, this is interesting. This guy has an interest in a case in front of Chris Ranji, and the entire American public knows that guy gave Ranji a gift. So he better be darn sure when he's making his decision. In the same way that with Hunter Biden selling his paintings, they said to keep it fair that nobody would know who bought the paintings.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a break. They know who bought the paintings. And what do you know? One of them was a Biden appointee. I think having their names out in the public, that transparency actually helps it look less sketchy, because people will know then, hey, we couldn't help but notice that Biden appointees are buying Hunter's paintings.
But do you think that in the case of Thomas, it would change how he rules on a case because the public knows? Or do you think he's going to do, hey, I got a gift from a billionaire. I don't care what you people are worried about. And if you're upset with me if I make this ruling, that's kind of how I would see it. Like, he's probably not going to care and not going to change how
It's interesting because
maybe he recuses himself.
Yeah, what's interesting is Clarence Thomas has never made a decision that's off-brand. That's for sure. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you look at his previous writings, even before all the lavish trips, he's not changing his mind because of these trips. I know that's not the point. I know that is absolutely not the point. But it's more of a subtle influence.
Let's talk to Keith with us on KMOX. Good afternoon, Keith.
Hey, let's call it what it really is, and you guys in radio should remember this from the early days. Payola. That's what it is. It's payola.
Yeah, we brought that up.
Oh, yeah,
Raj
it exists
needs to
now.
Take his unit.
I got to take stop saying unit.
Yeah, no, it's his class on
it is still very much a thing now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's more for music for the most part. And Keith, thank you for the phone call.
Thank you.
But the reason it exists is it used to be where a music promoter or whatever would give $50 or $100 to a DJ and then say, hey, play this song on the radio. You're not supposed to do
Payola
that.
and Plugola. It's funny because one time I thought I was going to jail because when I was first on the radio, I was talking about how much I loved donuts.
Yeah.
And then someone brought donuts. And I'm like, oh, these are so good. And then they're like, did you eat those donuts? You're going to jail. And I was like, I was just talking about donuts.
I would hate it if you went to prison.
Would you?
I think for the most part, yeah. Well, here's the deal. If you ever go to jail for anything, I am absolutely not coming to see you.
If I go to jail for the donuts and Clarence Thomas got to go to Tulum, I'm going to be upset.
I think he got to go to like the Maldives or something. Probably something way better than
the Maldives.
Isn't that expensive?
Turks and Caicos.
Both of them?
Bora Bora. I don't know. I'm just naming places that I hear.
I got to go to Turks and Caicos. All right, so we've got the Dave Glover 1 o'clock happy hour is next. Hey, listen to the Odyssey app, download it, KMOX.com. Get everything you missed on the show there. Love you. Bye. Have a good weekend.
Charlie Brennan here. Last year, Beth and I discovered water in the ceiling near the chimney in the front of our house. We immediately called Morelli Tuck Pointing, St. Louis's premier